me and play the music. And somebody confirm it worked.
Oh, we're online.
Oh, stream helped. Good. If you're watching this crazy ass late Monday special rerun, welcome to Picture Show number 54, the Moonday special, where we review last year's 4th of July outdoor show and attempt a really ratchet version of a call-in show.
Hello. Welcome to the show. Ryan Martin's here.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Raise up your green dot cup and say what's up, what's up. Oh, my dog's crying. You hear him? He said, why are you having a party without me? You hear that?
Yeah.
I might have to let him in. Oh, he's gonna cry. Okay, you come in, but you gotta be quiet. You guys gotta be quiet. Bugs. Up, up. Stay. Go lay down now. Dogs are welcome. Good. Stay. Lay down. Go lay down. No, stay down. Stay. You gotta stay. I'll kick you back out. Rewatching. Hi, everybody.
I've been Twitter for a little bit. For a minute.
Alright.
There, I sent out my Twitters.
Oh, you did?
What's up, Windhammer? Krista! Welcome to the show.
Some of the limits of the RAM on this new computer I bought.
Nice. Take it to the max, and that's the bottom line.
Oh, did I send you that Stone Cold ET somebody made?
No.
I saved the picture. I'm trying to send it to you.
Show. Bottom line.
Mario Paint, please come over to play Mario Paint. I have the mouse pad, and I want you to come over so bad.
That's a great idea, Adam. Ryan. Ryan said start an Adam Lord cover band.
I've always wanted to. Actually, my idea was to go and become so successful performing as Adam Lord that when he found out he couldn't be mad, he'd still be a little bit mad, but he couldn't make me stop. Then I could hire him to play in the band.
Clicking away.
My voice is similar enough to Adam's I can get away with it, you know.
That reminds me of you.
I'm still amazed that this isn't actually Adam singing, that's David Tantamount or whatever his name is.
Who was that?
That guy singing, that's not Adam singing. That's David Tantamount, whatever they I forget his band's name. I can't remember.
Outfits would be great for the video game cover.
Oh Lordy, I'm here. What? Somebody's trying to call.
Alright,
Hello, you're live during the introduction. I think this calls for pausing the music. You're live during the introduction. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I don't want to be on the introduction, so I'm sorry. I'll call back later.
Oh, okay. Weird. Did you hear that? I'm putting the music back on.
Is that who I thought it was?
Whoa. Maybe there's something special about
Monday, fun day. bullet here, particle target, wind hammer. Random. What it is. Cross your fingers. How about the girl in the pipe? I was telling you about those snail bones.
All right, I guess we'll one more roll and then we're good to go.
Particle target. Yes.
Oh my god. Should I do that live?
Yes. Oh.
Oh my god. Why do we subject ourselves to this stuff? You should see the crackhead look on these dogs' faces because I went and got the young little training treats. So now they are both being very well behaved.
Yeah, I made a pizza earlier.
They got that look in their eyes.
Always sort of like sharks when I'm making pizza.
Alright, I'm actually going to let one more song roll because I need the time. So after this track, we're going to transition over and we're going to see y'all. You're going to see us and all that stuff. So thank you for patiently waiting during this Monday special episode. 54?
54.
That's nutty.
The special Monday episode. I thought we'd have the show earlier so it's a lot easier on you East Coasters. 3 days earlier. What a bunch.
No, this song's not working for me. I'm switching it up. There we go.
Yeah, please.
After this song.
Found $1,000 bill and tried to shoot it. Never mind, no, I don't wanna do that. Another frog and it's staring out the window. Another frog flying coming in the soup jet. Another frog, I wanna put it in a watermelon frog. Not another frog. Another frog coming flying in the soup jet. Flying close and coming hiding in the soup can. Another frog, it doesn't have a lot of money. Another frog coming flying in the soup jet. Another frog, and she's guessing with the missile. Not a frog, not a frog, not another frog again. Not another frog again, not another frog in the soup jet. Frog in the soup jet. Not another frog again, not another frog in the soup jet. Frog in the soup jet. Not another frog again, not another frog in the soup jet. Frog in the soup jet. Not another frog again, not another frog in the soup jet. Frog in the soup jet. Another frog in the soup jet. Rolling in the zone with the suitcase. Everybody coming running. Not another frog again, not another frog in the soup jet. Frog in the soup jet. Not another frog again, not another frog in the soup jet. 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 Another frog found a note on the footstep. Found $1,000 bill, try to shoot it. Never mind, no, I don't wanna do that. Another frog and he's pissing out the window.
Pissing out the window?
Not another frog in the soup jet. Frog in the soup jet. Not another frog again. Not another frog in the soup jet. 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 Frog in the soup jet.
Oh, I guess I told him I was gonna switch it after this one, didn't I? Better get it together here. Alright, well, let's just kill that window. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are live for the Monday special of Picture Show, episode 54. I'm SB, and that guy is Jim. Hi, Jim. How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Kind of stressed out because I tried to get the call-in thing to work, and the call-in thing wasn't working, and there's this like really lame guy. Like, you know, the guy's so lame when you call on Skype and it doesn't go through that it makes you appreciate that lady that you've hated your whole life when she says, "The number you're calling has been disconnected or is no longer in service." And like, that's always annoying anyway, but at least she has like a nasally professional tone. Whereas the Skype, if for some reason it's not connecting, it's just like, your call can't go through.
I think I can call that up here if you want to hear it.
Yeah, put that on the mic if you can. Let's see if it'll do it for you. And then, of course, someone else calls during the intro, and it goes through.
Sorry, but your call cannot be completed.
Yeah, that's just lame. And when you're trying, you're like under... No, sit.
They don't like that either.
Sit. When you're trying under duress to get it to function, and you keep hearing that 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, oh man, you start to get really mad then. Good dogs. We got a show with pugs on the floor because they were starting to cry like people were dying outside the door. And
we should be able to do Discord voice though if the phone if the Skype number does not work for
yeah, that's
everyone.
true. We set up, if you're in the Discord, we set up a voice channel called Call In all caps, and it's at the bottom of the show related subjects area. And so if you're really dying to be on the air, well, I think if you just jump in there and talk, you'll probably be heard immediately, and then probably I'll mute you and reconsider whether or not we want to hear you. Because that's how we do things around here. But yeah, my plan, well, mainly was going to be to do the call-in thing, but it's really turning into a hassle. It sounds like we did have one caller who is interested to call in. And the other thing we were planning on doing is reviewing Picture Show episode 13, because during that episode, it was about 1 year ago. It was 363 days ago. And Jem and I hauled all of the equipment into the backyard of Jem's house and set it up so that we could have the show live during the 4th of July.
That was a great experience.
And here Eddie Scotton is, he's behind on the whole scene, folks. Poor Eddie. Eddie Tracy's no longer with us. We don't really know what's going on with her. It did sound like she had temporarily called in for a second and then bounced. And so maybe we'll get her back on here in another few minutes and we'll see what she wants to say. But it's all a big question mark. On short notice, she let us know that she was going to have to not participate on a weekly basis. And we don't really have much more information than that. So I love it. Jim and I are both having dog problems. So yeah, I was gonna try and get the Picture Show phone number up on the screen too, so people could see it. I'm gonna try that real quick. Let me see if I can get this typed in here. It really is 4th of July because the dogs are freaking out.
Oh yeah. You'll have to give mine a piece of pepperoni here.
Well, don't talk like that. My dogs will know their treats suck.
Oh yeah, and I suffer giving him pepperoni because then he's got.
Oh, you don't have to. Don't say another word. I know exactly what you're saying.
But if I give him a little piece, and he'll be here for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well, not only that, you show your dog that kind of love, and then you suffer for it, right?
Oh yeah. Every good deed goes unpunished. How does that go?
Yeah, that was what every good deed goes punished would be the proper way to say that. No good deed goes unpunished.
Yes, exactly.
I saw a thing where people were making like a little wrap it around your neck special thing that you could tie on your dog to make them happy for the 4th of July, and I was thinking about going to look that up. It's just like with a t-shirt or with a towel, and it like goes around the waist and then across by the chest and like ties behind their head, and it's supposed to make them feel secure like a
sleep hold.
Like they make that kind of stuff for people with developmental disabilities, like weighted blankets and weighted vests and jackets. You ever seen that stuff?
Oh yeah. Or like the swaddling stuff for babies. It calms babies down. And you swaddle them up and wrap them tight in a blanket. Maybe not all babies, but...
Oh, no, yeah. My children definitely wanted to be swaddled very much. And my oldest required it far past when she could bust out of it. But it didn't matter. You had to do it.
To be swaddled by a straitjacket. As an adult.
I was trying to get the number up here. Let's see if I can make it work. I'm feeling doubtful about my abilities because I had so much trouble with everything. All right. Well, let's try one more thing here. There, that's not bad. That should be better. Let's see. Okay. So... And the other thing is, I don't know if the one caller that we did have, that was because she's connected directly to my Skype account, or if the number for some reason worked for her. But I don't know how she would have this number. So there's the number. Somebody call this thing and see what happens, would you? Other than Jim, please. Okay, that was your chance. I hope you memorized it. No, I'm just kidding. It's still there. But I'm curious to see if it'll work. Even if someone just wants to say, okay, I tested it, bye, and hang up, that's okay. Oh, that was on your end. I thought for sure something was happening there.
I got notifications dinging everywhere.
Yeah. Not getting nothing. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Oh yeah, and Jim, you were tempting fate with my. I got the tennis elbow going on, but we could try a song later maybe.
You think you're feeling it? Did you take your anti-inflammatory? You have a Tylenol or something?
There's too many things going on with his hand, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, very delicate work on small and tedious arts, and probably too many years of guitar playing.
Yeah, okay, Snake tried it, thanks, and Harrison said he'll try it. So yeah, it's really weird, because I can call out with the number, I can receive texts and send texts, but so Civ, you hit it up. Thanks you guys for trying. I just signed up for it tonight, and for some reason, of course, the Skype is giving me a hassle. So we might be able to do call-in stuff with the Discord. Might be able to bounce into the Discord. So I'm going to take that back off the screen because it's not working currently. Hopefully it will be working by next week. Oh my goodness, Adam Lore. Adam Lore says, oh yeah, you know it, baby. You know you called the right number, so tell us what you want. I'm trying to remember what that's from. Oh, now we're getting a call. It says an unknown person is calling. You're on the air live with RX Only Picture Show.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Harrison.
Hey, what's up? Hey, it worked for Harrison. Good news.
It did.
Harrison, welcome to the Monday special episode of Picture Show.
We got another call. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I have it doubled up. Okay, we're good now. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry about the dead air. Yeah, so I can tell some stories I told you before if you want.
Yeah, I'm down. As long as Jim also approves. You want to hear some Harrison stories, Jim?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, yeah, so these are kind of like kind of secret society, kind of like weird esoteric things that happen to me. Whenever I used to live in New Orleans. So let me think what happened first chronologically. Yeah, so I was involved in like a election committee for like a politician in New Orleans, and there's a lot of weird guys that were involved. There was like a guy who was like a big music promoter in the New Orleans scene, and there was like this old guy who ran a construction company, and he worked at this Mardi Gras fruit. And I don't want to like be too particular because I don't want these people to come kill me or something.
Well, that's good foreshadowing for where this story might be going.
Yeah.
So wait, a politician involved with the Mardi Gras?
Just a guy on the politician committee is involved with a Mardi Gras crew, and like he helped like build floats and like maintain floats, and like he and all the crew guys would go down to like Burning Man every year.
Okay,
you know?
Okay. So more of a community organizer.
Yeah, and he's like a well-known guy, and I don't want to give too many clues away once he gets to like come kill me. So not that it's like that not bad of a story. But anyway, these guys are like really like me. They're all like pretty old. And so part of this, my relationship with them was like put on fundraisers, like musical shows to raise money for the politicians. So like I would organize like DIY shows. Not all of them. Like that was the plan. I only put on one concert. So like this weird thing happened. I had like 5 acts to play. We're gonna perform the DIY show in this Mardi Gras this Mardi Gras float warehouse. So like there's all these floats in there and like cool lights. Is gonna be like a pretty cool evening. And like the day before, 3 of the acts cancel on me. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like I don't know how I'm gonna spring back on this. Somehow I found like 3 acts within 24 hours. And but we did not make any money because the guy who maintains the floats that I worked under, he like spent all the money before the fact on ads for the event.
Okay.
So we broke even. And like, but the weird thing was everyone was like showering me with praise, like, "Oh man, you really pulled it through. Like, you really proved yourself to us." I was like, "Okay, I don't know what that means." And so they started telling me all this weird stuff. After that, like, I'm trying to think about all of it right now. Like, so the old guy who ran the construction company and like maintained the floats and stuff, he was like, "Yeah, we go to Burning Man every year." Like, and then he's like, "My father was an ambassador. It's like I grew up with all the ambassadors' kids." And he's like, I'm close personal friends with Henry Kissinger." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
I didn't really believe him, but at one point he brings up like the signed Christmas card from Henry Kissinger. He's like, "Yeah, I get a Christmas card from Henry Kissinger every year."
That's terrifying.
He's like, "I helped write a book with Henry Kissinger." And he's like, he crashed on my couch for a couple of weeks there, and he was like, he just started spontaneously crying. Henry Kissinger would, because like he like couldn't get out of his life, like he couldn't escape like where he was, even if he like wanted to run away.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way to get away from yourself once you've reached that level, you know.
Yeah. And so you hear a vacuum in the background? I don't know. I don't hear anything like that. Anyway, so he's telling me.
Oh no, Windhammer! Hold on, Harrison. Let me clear that up. I accidentally unmuted the video I have queued up of our old show, and it was dead air. But so for just a second. Oh man, did we lose
Harrison?
We lost Harrison. Yeah, we're getting some. It is the day of the moon instead of the day of Mercury, so communication can be affected. So go ahead and call right back, Harrison, and I'll just bounce you back in here. I might have accidentally pushed the button because I could see my mouse in the OBS screen, and I didn't realize that the actual cursor was somewhere else. And so when I clicked trying to adjust the next thing we're going to bring up, it started to play dead air over here. So, huh?
Technological difficulties.
Dang it, SB! What are you doing? All right. Well, hopefully
It's a new moon, by the way.
It's a what?
The new moon.
Oh, there's no moon at all. No wonder we're having trouble.
No moon, yeah.
Where does the moon go? We want to know.
Hey, it's a no moon day.
No moon.
No moon day. Namaste, no moon day.
Hey, I'm through the Discord. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Let's see if can the audience hear? Yeah, I can hear you for sure. Let me turn you up on the speakers a little bit.
In the Discord.
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh, I'm muted in the Discord. Hold on, one second. Harrison.
Oh, good.
Okay, I should be unmuted now. You should be able to hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Cool.
And you should be able to hear Jim too. Let's make sure Jim's. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Jim's not muted.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was just telling you the Henry Kissinger part with the Christmas card. Henry Kissinger and like the Henry Kissinger crying and like writing a book with him. And then he's like, yeah. And then he's like, so he was the son of an ambassador, so he was like, all his family's in the military, so he like traveled around a lot as a kid. And so he's like, At one point, he was looking at Washington State, and he's like, I got caught with cocaine, and I was sitting in like the police station, and within a few hours, some
Hold on, Harrison. We got to recap. So this is the guy that was a community organizer for floats at the Mardi Gras. He starts to, you save the day because a bunch of bands canceled and you managed to pull a show out of it anyway. And so he feels ingratiated to you, like you saved the day, and he really likes you. So he starts getting personal, and he tells you not only that he's friends with Henry Kissinger, but he busts out a signed Christmas card and proceeds to talk about how Henry Kissinger would sleep on his couch and like break down crying because he couldn't get out of his life as Henry Kissinger, right?
Yes.
Okay, go on from there, please.
So then he tells me a little bit more.
I don't know if I can, man.
Excuse me?
I was trying to, I think your volume's lower on the Discord than it was, just trying to see if I could increase, user volume. All right, let's see.
Okay.
Go ahead and test that and see that. And if you could choke right up on your mic too, Harrison, that'd probably help.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try some stuff real fast.
Cool, all right.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, Jim's giving the thumbs up that's better, so.
Okay. So he starts telling me about how he was in Washington State and he got like arrested for possession of cocaine. So he's sitting in the police department for a few hours, and then some guys in suits walk in. And he's saying he knows it is because he's on some list and like of ambassadors' children, and it like pinged or something. So the CIA came in.
Oh no!
And yeah, the CIA comes in and they ask him. They say, "We'll let the charges off if you'll work for us in South America."
Wow.
So for 7 years he did like the CIA cocaine thing, and then he didn't have to like serve a sentence because he was a diplomat's son.
Yeah, he gave the correct response. Like, do you want to go to prison because we're the CIA and we caught you? Or worse, like maybe we'll torture you and then kill you? Or how about you just do the same thing you were already caught doing, only with our help?
Yeah.
This is why you don't deal cocaine, kids. That's the moral of the story.
So there's some weird connections there, but there's even some more. So there's more guys that were involved in this group. Like one of the guys, he was older, but he was a big, as I said earlier, music producer during like the New Orleans music scene. And like one day out of the blue, he calls me and he's like, "I need you to come down to this festival." It wasn't that far away, but like, so I have like narcolepsy, so sometimes I can't really like get out of the house too well. And he's like calling me. And he's like, "Hey, I set you up. Like, I set you up with one of the Grateful Dead's members' granddaughters. Like, she really wants to see you." I'm like, "What? I can't get out of the house. Like, I'm not well. I can barely walk. Like, I'm sorry that you spent so much effort to hook me up with one of the Grateful Dead members' grandkids. But like," and he's like, "No, you need to come down here. Like, she really wants to see you." And I'm like, "I don't. What are you getting at? Like, I can't come." And he was like pissed at me. He never talked to me again after that. I didn't really even think about it until like more recently. I was like looking at Twitter accounts and I see that like Tom Petty's daughter is like an out and out witch, you know, and like there's the whole thing with the Grateful Dead starting out as the Warlocks, you know, at the CIA acid parties and all that stuff. So like, I don't know. It seemed like they were like really trying to get me involved with like some kind of inner group that they're all belonged into. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it sounds like it to me like you were being passively recruited.
Yeah. There's a lot of like love bombing going on in that group on me.
Love bomb? What's a love bomb?
That's a cult technique. It's like Scientology does it, and like some other cults. Like you get brought in, and like whenever you join, people kind of isolate you from your normal social circle, and they can like surround you, and they like give you lots of praise so that you would rather associate them as a social group than anybody else.
Oh, so yeah, I'd never heard the term. I understood that cults do that because it's just a typical sociopathic con man technique anyway, like to flatter someone with massive praise and adoration and everything. So that's interesting. And so you realized what was going on and didn't fall for it? That's
No, not even at the time. I didn't even realize it at the time. Only like in retrospect, I was like, well, that's all really weird. Oh, I have one more thing to say.
Go ahead, man.
The guy who the main guy, the little guy who did the floats and owned a construction company. He sat me down. He was like, okay, do you know about the direct energy weapons the military has? I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, all right. So it uses electromagnetic radio waves, and it uses like 3-dimensional coordinates. And you can type in the coordinates in a certain range from one of these machines, and it will like all coincide a bunch of different waves. And there'll be like an interference pattern, and it'll just like blow up right there. Like you can just blow up a toaster anywhere in the world or something like that. I'm like, all right. He's like, my nephew. He's stationed on a submarines around Israel. And this is part of the Iron Wall defense system. He told me. And now,
how long ago was this?
This is about 3 years ago.
So before these weapons were so popularized on the internet, for sure. So they were kind of
and it was even before the sonic weapon things, like in Cuba and China.
Yeah.
We call them sonic weapons, but I believe they're just electromagnetic, but not that they're much different. They're just a wave weapon.
Yeah, way back in the day, I found instructions for how to make a microwave into an EMF.
Awesome.
And I still am patting myself on the back for having not downloaded the plans, and that was probably like 2009 or 2010 or something. like I still read all the details like really carefully, and I was like, God, this is stupid. Like for anyone to do this, because I mean, just as an absolute FYI and a warning, don't take apart microwaves. No matter who you are, unless you're an electrical engineer, don't take apart any microwaves for any reason.
Or you have a lead overcoat.
Oh yeah, it's just, I mean, the power just underneath that little crappy sheet metal shield is enough to kill you so many different times in so many different ways. It's not even funny. A guy did it to himself out here in the Pacific Northwest, and it's, I'm only like 1 or 2 degrees from him. He had modified this microwave to use it as a sculpting and burnishing tool. And he was inside of like a house that he was painting or working on as a construction guy, as a contractor, and he was doing some little side project, and they found him and they're dead. Because he shocked himself to death. Like, don't take apart microwaves unless you know absolutely with certainty what you were doing. Please don't do it.
I have 2 more stories. They're a little shorter.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
In New Orleans. Okay. One time I was hanging out at this karaoke bar. That was too far from my house. And it was like a really slow night. It was like Wednesday at 10. Nobody was in there. And this guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, I'm a journalist at Vice, and I'm HIV positive. I'm like, that checks out. And he's like, I'm down here to write a story about NOLA AIDS, and can I get involved? I'm like, okay. And he's like, I went to a military academy, and I was sexually abused there. I'm like, okay, checks out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were just like talking about stuff, and this is before I knew about anything like military school sexual abuse, like as like kind of a common thing that happens.
Right, like Kay Griggs. If you guys have never checked out Kay Griggs, there's interviews of her totally dropping all the dirt about that stuff. Have you seen that, Harrison?
I have not, no.
Yeah, a woman named Kay Griggs. It's like 3 hours. I found that stuff way back in the day too. That was on the web long ago, but I've looked recently and it's still on there, and she pretty much has this long extended confession to a pastor all about how her husband and other high up ranking military men were all sexually abused, and how they use it against them to mind control them and all that stuff. So
wow. Yeah. It's that kind of stuff. That's what he was talking about. But I mean, he was just a vice writer now. Anyway, so he's like, hey, my friend really wants to meet you. And she's outside the bar. I'm like, that's kind of strange. So I go out front, and there's like a girl out there, and she's kind of like voodoo punk. That's kind of like her look. And she's sitting out there, and she has like a bunch of tarot cards laying out. And he's like, she wants to read your palm. I'm like, okay. And she hasn't even seen me. I haven't even interacted with her. But
Yeah.
like, she wanted to read your
This
pulse.
doesn't make any sense. Were you scared?
I'm just confused. Like in all these situations I'm describing, like it seems tense or weird. I'm just like, what is going on? Like, why are you bothering me? Like I'm just kind of like frustrated, you know? Like, so she takes a look at my hands and just looks me in the eyes and says nothing, and that's it. That was that experience.
How
I'm like,
weird.
okay. And then the guy's like, "Hey, would you like me to buy you some G?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm cool. I don't want any G."
What's
What's G? It's a GHB.
Okay, that's what I figured.
It's like a chemsex gay drug thing, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the date rape drug, isn't it? No, that's for Hypnol.
Yeah.
That's different. No, it is, isn't it?
I mean, it has been used as that. It's not really common to do that.
Because it's
honestly.
funny you say that, because the only time I'd ever heard of anyone using it as anything other than a date rape drug, it was some gay guys, and they were talking about GHB and poppers, and I was like, what do you mean GHB? You guys like date rape each other? Like, is this some kind of weird kink or something? And they're like, no, if you take it and you don't overdo it, then you can get really high, and it's really trippy. And I'm just like, okay, didn't know, you know, like I didn't know some people intentionally take GHB, you know.
Oh, there's actually one more thing about the story. So he's telling me about there's these masked sex parties in New Orleans apparently, and like to get invited, like to go, you have to get invited once, and then the next year you can invite somebody else, and it's kind of like infectious like that.
Right. No, that makes. I've heard of those kind of parties that that there's you know they let you come and check it out, and then if you're cool, then the next year you can bring somebody with you.
Yeah. All right. So my last one is the most explosive.
All right. All right.
So one time my friend was visiting, and there was this like old Baptist church across the street from me. And it had been converted into a DIY art space called Sanctuary. And they had like put up these like really weird, edgy-looking stained glass windows, and there hadn't been a whole lot of activity, but they had like these like Sri Lankan wooden demon statues out front. It was kind of weird looking, and the lights were just on, and it looked like the doors open, like it was an open house. And I asked my friend as we drove past, I was like, "Hey, you want to go to the Black Mass?" as a joke. And I had just kind of been like really getting into like Masonic symbolism and stuff like that right before that, so I was kind of like really sensitive to this stuff. But I was just joking, you know. But we walk over, and oh my gosh. Okay, so we go in. There's all this weird art everywhere. Like the first thing I see is like this guy. He's kind of like dressed up like Papa Legba in this picture, but he's like an old guy. But he has 3 eyes. He's got like a third eye, and they're all like reptilian. I'm like, okay, that's pretty strange. And then up front they have these.
Wait, that's his costume?
No, it was a painting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then up front they had these pictures that were called macrocosm and microcosm. They had like a bunch of cubes and hexagons and pentagons and owls in space. I'm like, okay, like I can see something here, but it's, you know, maybe I'm reading into it. So then we go in further, and they have all these prints and art and stuff. And they got like, you know, like Satan eating dudes with his crotch, and then they got like people stargazing, and like for stars they trace the Kabbalah in the sky, and there's like, man, you know, it's just like esoteric stuff. And I actually sent you the link of that guy's name was Eric Piper. Remember Eric Piper from Oklahoma? He's this artist. He's like stuff in his artwork. So I mean,
Is it Piper with a P? Oh, we might have lost him.
it was like they were a vampire. Like they had like dudes in like full leather, bleached hair. They had like this huge dog. Like, I don't know. It was a super weird vibe. It was like you could cut it with a knife. Okay, so it's just kind of weird stuff. So this dude busts in. He's wearing a t-shirt that's got a Illuminati pyramid, doing a tap of wearing overalls. He's like bursts in with his second tools, and they're like, okay, our first performance art piece is called Stud Finder. Okay, so he just takes off his clothes down to his tidy whities right there, and he gets his bag out and he puts some coveralls on, and he gets out like a reciprocating saw, but instead of the saw blade, he puts a dildo on the end. Okay.
Oh no!
And then he just starts right at the wall, and he kind of like separates me from the crowd. So it's just me, the crowd, and him. He's right next to me, and he's like got this reciprocating saw dildo thing, and he's like got like right next to me, up against the wall. And I was super uncomfortable. Like I didn't know if he was gonna like incorporate me into the performance. And so that was over.
Oh man, we're getting.
And they're like, okay, play these very, very, very strange films. Like one's about a woman cleaning out her ear, and she just like stabs eardrum with a Q-tip. But the weirdest one was this video of a
Are you
and there's
catching
a
that too?
vampire in front of the pig, like acting like he's like drawing energy from the pig. The pig is dressed up in all white with the red, which at that point I knew that was like a certain sort of outfit. And I was just like, what is going on? Like all this stuff is just amp. And then they after they showed the videos, they said, okay, we're gonna have a brief intermission, and then we're going to do a group participation performance art. And my friend and I looked at each other and we said, we're out of here.
We're out. So I want to review all that. So the dude.
I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
I looked it up on Eric Piper's CV, the name of that event, and what the performance thing was called was, I believe it was Immaculate Misconception. Anyway, you can go.
So that was this was also in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It was a church converted into an art space, and the guy came out and did a performance piece where he stripped down to all the way to his underwear, put on coveralls, and then busted out a reciprocating saw and replaced the blade with a dildo, and then separated you kind of away from the crowd, so it's you and him, and then he was like humping the wall with it. Is that what you said? Because you were kind of roboting a bit. So
yeah.
Did he find the stud or not, Harrison?
Unless I was the stud.
Yeah, I think he did. You were the stud. So you weren't feeling the vibe to want to stick around for the audience participation piece when they busted out the cake and crackers and said these have light inside and you should eat them.
I mean, I don't know how they might integrate the king cake with the little baby, that kind of thing.
Oh, and I was going to tell the audience, if they were unaware, the painting that he described with the guy with the third eye, dressed as Papa Legba. Papa Legba is like the voodoo version of Mercury, kind of. He's like the voodoo communicator. He's the go-between for the gods. He's like they call him a Loa, I think. And you have to communicate with them to get the bigger gods to do your bidding for you, or something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, sort of mercurial.
Because I listened to I recently listened to the second part of William Gibson's Neuromancer series. The second one is called Count Zero, and it's really good. The Neuromancer series is really good if you guys haven't checked it out. And Papa Legba plays a pretty big part in the Count Zero book, the fiction by William Gibson, all about. It's totally whatever you said earlier made me think of William Gibson too. Like voodoo punk, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally voodoo cyberpunk vibes throughout. So.
Yeah. Am I cutting out too much? Because you're cutting on my end. I said Christian or someone in the chat was saying that as well.
I mean, I'm hearing you fine now, but a little bit earlier you were roboting, so.
Okay. I'm gonna try calling you back in a different way real fast. I have another set of stories, but I'm just gonna disconnect for the time being.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll let you bounce, and we'll give us a minute, and then you're gonna try again with the Skype, or what's up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try a couple different things.
All right, bro. Thanks for calling, Harrison.
Mm-hmm. Anytime. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell me honestly, Jim, are you ready to read some jokes? Because suddenly I would really like to be dismissed myself. If
Jokes?
Yeah.
Jokes.
You got jokes or not, man?
I don't have anything queued up, but that's probably the appropriate time for you to leave. So
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim.
Let's see. How about some summer jokes? What did the pig say at the beach on a hot summer's day? I'm bacon. What do you call 6 weeks of rain in Scotland? You call that summer. What do you call a French guy in sandals? Philippe Philop. That's with a PH, sort of a French thing, I guess, there. When do you go at red and stop at green? When do you go at red and stop at green? When you're eating a watermelon. Why did the cheerleader put extra salt on her food in the summer? Well, the cheerleader put extra salt on her food in the summer because she wanted to do somersaults. How hot is the Los Angeles summer? So hot that I saw a fire hydrant chasing a pack of dogs. Nice. That was a hilarious one. How do you know your city is suffering from a heat wave?
How's that?
Every fat guy sweating in the city smells like bacon. Yeah.
I don't know if I get that one. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know.
So how do men exercise at the beach?
How's that?
By sucking in their belly every time they see a bikini.
Oh, dude, there used to be a great GIF on the internet of a fat guy, and he saw a pretty girl walking by at the beach, and he's sitting at a little round table with his friend, and he sees her, and he does that, like makes himself thin and big, and as soon as she walks away, he lets his belly out, and it knocks the table over. It's really funny.
So by far my favorite joke that I just read was, when do you go at red and stop at green?
Oh yeah, I think I overheard that one as I was coming out the door. When you're eating watermelon.
Yeah.
That's so true for me because I eat lots of fruits.
Very true.
I'm a fruity guy. In case you guys didn't know.
I need the seeds sometimes. I don't care if it's going to grow in my stomach. That just slows you down when you're a kid.
Snake Jones is asking if anybody caught Phoenix Enigma de-occulting 4th of July today. No, I didn't see it. I didn't catch that. I haven't really been having much time to absorb much content except for audio. We always throw audio on in the background while we're working, and I try to listen to audio when I'm doing laundry or doing domestic housework. I did buy this awesome audio CD for sometimes in the car. It's called A History of God.
Oh, there you go.
It just looked good. You know, it's probably really like Normieville all the way. I'm going to be like, yeah, right. It says, The 4,000-Year Quest of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam by Karen Armstrong. And it's read by the author, so. But I'm an impulsive shopper on the internet. Like, I would have a lot more money in the bank if I didn't have Amazon Prime.
How do you keep a religious extremist from charging you?
How's that?
You take away his credit cards.
Oh, Windhammer says, why was Helen Keller's leg yellow? Her dog was blind too.
That was good.
Hey, what's up, Occult fan? Welcome to the Moonday special. And Krista says it's a good book, so she must have read parts of it. Poop isn't food. You can quote us on
correct.
that. So. Well, let's before Harrison jumps back, let's I'm gonna queue up to where get past the memes in this episode. They're gonna go back and take a look at episode 13.
Oh, 13.
Because that was when Jem and I hauled all of the equipment out into the backyard with extension cords, and we did picture show in Jim's backyard for the 4th of July. So
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
There it
Did
is.
we shoot BB guns too?
I think we did shoot BB guns. I don't remember if we shot them during the episode or not. So
No, we shot them. Just don't
all right.
remember when.
Oh, here let's.
There's fireworks popping off too. That was fun.
Yeah, by the end of the night, fireworks were popping off. I figured we could just jump around on this. I'm gonna go ahead and push play, and let's take a look at ourselves approximately 1 year ago.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs that SB ever wrote is on that episode.
Hey, there's fireworks. That's the hat I'm wearing right now.
Listen, Jeff, listen this week. I do it every week. Push the transition.
Nice.
Mouse over there by you.
So we should be pretty close to popping over here, folks.
I can hear it.
Here we go. Here it comes. I see it coming.
Nice hat.
Hello!
Hey, it's Jeff.
Welcome to RX Only Picture Show.
You're all by yourself.
It
poor guy.
is the 4th of July, 2018. And let's see, we're going to be...
Are you embarrassed, Jim?
Oh, no way.
We're going to be outside today.
This is great.
We've got
It's 40 episodes ago.
there's a river back there behind me. There's very good potentiality for some firecrackers going off all night around us, maybe even up in the air. Maybe right back here.
I wonder where I am.
I guess we'll find out together
What
if
a mystery here.
there's going to be an aerial
Kinda odd.
pyrotechnics show.
You're doing the preparatory restroom break.
Yeah. Tell us some jokes.
What happened
Jim.
was I had a electrical problem in the house, and so we weren't going to be able to do the show in our normal sound studio.
Oh, I
And
forgot about
so
that.
we
The dog
ended up
peed on the
packing it out
extension cord.
here.
That's right.
Blew
And
a
then in the
fuse
midst
and I couldn't find
of
it.
setting up our show out here, we ended up
was a
fixing
serious
the
hidden
electrical
fuse
problem.
box.
But we figured, since it's such a nice day and there's some fireworks going off everywhere, we thought we'd stay out here and give everybody a good show with it.
And just so you guys know, behind Jem there on the ground is an awesome bronze sculpture, and I never realized how much it looks like Mercury, Jem. Like it looks like it has horns on top, like Mercury.
Oh yeah, they're in the to the right of me.
Yeah, you should be able to see my mouse on there, right here.
I can't see your mouse. Well, I don't know. I'm behind on the.
Oh yeah, you might be just a little bit behind
I'm watching on the lag.
on the lag. I would screen share, but it'll mess us up. It always does.
Well, go ahead.
Oh wait, hold on.
there
I
it is.
can
I see the mouse.
I can screen share. I should be able to screen share just that one little section. Oh, that did something.
What happened?
I don't know. Sean shouldn't mess with stuff. No, I don't want a full screen. I should have just left it alone.
Yeah.
Maybe I better just leave it alone.
All right.
Let's keep watching Jim. You want to speed it up? Should we make you go?
You can.
Let's. It's because I'm vain. I want
Comes out.
to see where I am. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna put Jim on fast until I get in here, and then we'll slow back down and see what happens. So. All right.
Also gonna do a little barbecuing, and got back here. There's a whoa.
Now we get somewhere.
Yeah, maybe we should point the cameras up a little bit.
People see nothing dark.
Two people watching. Yeah.
2 people watching. All right. I'll slow it back
You had
down.
2 people watching back then.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
On the 4th of July, 2 people were spending their 4th of July with us. So here
Let's
we
see.
are.
I think Ryan Martin was watching.
Second green one. So
This is getting really meta now. Oh, I gotta move this thing. Hold on here.
Too late now.
Check out that shirt. That's loud.
Yeah, I've got
Like
that.
it.
I was wearing that shirt today, believe it or not. All right. So,
Are you 2 days ahead of the yearly
No.
rotation?
You can't see anybody.
that should be better.
Here, I guess we'll move this.
Super
Did you
meta.
wear that hat today on purpose too?
No, it was just a total
Alright.
coincidence.
I wonder how often, if any of us kept track of what we wore
that
1
one.
year ago, if it would line up with what we wore today.
There. That's a confusing shot. Now, if we could both hold up pictures of ourselves sitting somewhere on Picture Show, it would be great. Is this Jim's brother? It is really weird that I wore that shirt to work today. And then I realized I didn't have a hat when I started the show, so I reached up on the shelf. This hat, I rarely wear it because it's really expensive and it's in good shape still, so.
And it says Pecker on it.
Kind of an angle.
It does say Pecker on it.
Mortars that are going off over our heads.
It's got
A woodpecker.
It's got a woodpecker.
Hilarious.
Yeah, we know you have to adjust as we go.
Oh yeah, we still got the Adam Laura in the background here.
Oh yeah.
I haven't
We
heard that
were
song
trying
in
to
a
set
while.
up these cameras. It was quite a fun thing trying to figure out where the fireworks were going to be popping off.
Oh, that's right. We finally got him right here. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Oops, I gotta get back over
Standing or
here.
sitting?
All right, I got a question for Jem. I'm gonna take us away from
yeah.
that chaotic shot.
I'll be
Jim,
here all night for answering questions.
Did you ever do anything with the footage we recorded that day that wasn't live?
You mean the 3D footage?
Yeah, because we've got that 360 camera,
360, yeah. No, I have not.
and we've got to get that stuff up somewhere.
I didn't have the right app to buffer to set it up on my computer so that I could upload it to YouTube.
Oh, that's right. I remember we at least took a look at it afterwards.
Yeah, I can
Because I
watch it on a
remember-
phone, and you know you can look all the way around with your phone. But I need to get like some primo Adobe software or something that I don't have yet.
You have to upload it a special way for them to be able to look at it on YouTube, but we can do it, right?
Yeah. Well,
So-
we can do it. I just don't have the
So let me see.
software yet.
Let's see if I can.
I got all hot and bothered when I saw the 360 camera technology. It's pretty sweet watching those videos on YouTube, and you can look around. You can ride a roller coaster and look up and down and all around and stuff. I thought it'd be pretty cool to watch a variety show.
Oh, I don't want. Hold on here. I was gonna here. So this is what we're talking about. We'll jump some of this in here so people can see it. So Jim bought one of these, and we actually recorded the 4th of July show with this type of camera.
It doesn't really do
I
justice
see,
on.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can do. That's what I was trying to see. You can see I'm grabbing this and moving it.
Oh, you can move it.
Yeah, so you can move it in real time. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's a cool shot. That's like somebody's drone
It's
right
like
there.
having a VR helmet on and
So-
looking all around everything live.
So we need to get back on that so that we can upload the 4th of July, because people could definitely see the fireworks on that. Because you could do this, you could turn the camera around until you find it. But yeah, just in case people weren't absolutely sure what we were talking about, these are the 360 cameras, and it wasn't too expensive. What was it, like $120 or something?
Something like that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I want to be in the woods. I'm going to be pretty soon. That's why we're doing Monday, because I'm going to be out of town for the 4th and getting a well-deserved break for me and my lady. My lady.
We're gonna be back next Wednesday, right? After this week.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. We should be for sure.
Awesome.
And I was trying to think of we're willing to take some recommendations for for subject for next week. This week's working okay because our plan was to do call-ins, and even though it's kind of been in the pain in the rear end, it's worked out. We've had Harrison call, and he looks like he said he's going to call back one more time. Uh-oh.
He just said he was getting sleepy.
Matt Z said the stream's down. Is that true across the board? Are we losing it here?
My stream is up. Unless I'm behind. Oh, Harrison said he's getting sleepy, so he's not going to be able to call back in tonight.
Yeah, no problem. That's all good.
But he wants to come back and do a comprehensive breakdown of the occult significance of Neon Genesis Evangeline.
Okay.
Yeah, show.
Good night, Snake. Hey, looks like Monday we're getting
Good night, Snake.
people. Yeah, I'm starting to think that we should throw up a survey or a vote and see if maybe it's better to start Wednesdays at 4, so that's 7 East Coast. Because it seems like we have enough people dropping off that if we started at 4, maybe we would be more accommodating to our fans out here on the live stay. We don't want everyone to feel as crappy as we do
on Wednesday, like a regular show on Wednesday and a Monday East Coast show that starts at 4.
Well, if we're gonna do 2 streams a week, then I say we're gonna have to see some people piling into the Patreon.
Yeah, well, we could do one a call-in show and then one a guest host topic show with maybe some call-ins at the end, perhaps. I don't know, just an idea. Kind of hit me this last weekend. I was thinking we should do an early Monday show every week.
Oh man, I don't know if we could do it. It'd be so hard.
It would be hard.
It would be so hard to just pulling this off was stressing me out so much before we went live because I went and bought that Skype number and then it wouldn't work and then we tried to change to the Discord and it's just like, no way, man.
You only gotta buy a Skype number once, though.
Skype. Yeah, it'll be a new issue next week. I'm not green on this how to run tech equipment stuff. Maybe I should set up a little Papa Legba altar over here and start throwing some rum and some tobacco up there, and maybe it'll work better.
Papa Legba?
Yeah, that's like the voodoo version of Mercury.
Oh.
The god Mercury. I'm joking. I am not going to set up a Papa Legba altar. I will not be having an altar for voodoo god.
You pop up a picture of Papa Legba?
Yeah. Here, let me see. Let's see. Let's use this one. So now some of the pictures of Papa Legba are pretty cliche, and then some of them are better. Let me fade this over. And it's going to take you about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. There you go. Can you see him, Jim?
I'm waiting for the 8-second ride to get over here to my lagging.
It's taking more than 8 seconds. Oh yeah, the one this one to me seems a little bit more traditional. But the one you usually see is this guy here because he was on a TV show or something. I don't remember what. Oh, American Horror Story. So you see when you search it for images, I wonder what happens if we take. Are you seeing them now, Jim?
I'm not seeing them. I'm seeing. Did I freeze? Did we freeze? Oh. Okay. Yeah. I think I got behind.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Is that Mercury?
Well, it's not really Mercury, but he's the god of roads and the god of communication. And the reason I know that is because, like I said, I listened to that William Gibson book, Count Zero, and there's a lot of stuff. It's trippy how far ahead of the game William Gibson is. Like I only watched the very beginning of Miguel Connor's Matrix special, where they had a special that had him and Christopher Knowles and one other prominent character whose name I can't think of right now. It was another good participant there, and they had like a Matrix 20-year anniversary special. And I love Chris Knowles because he came out and he's like, let's just be honest, the Matrix sucked, it was stupid, they just wanted to rip off William Gibson without having to pay him any royalties. And if you go listen to Neuromancer and Count Zero or read them, you'll see what he's talking about. That he completely lays the foundation for all of the internet the way that we know it nowadays, with video and audio and it being a virtual realm. He completely outlines the style of steampunk or cyberpunk, pardon me, and it also includes all of this magic because the computer hackers and the tech nerds are all using magic inside the internet. They're all using like Voodoo is part of their hacking. And that's, not to ruin the story or anything, but that's part of what happens is this kid is trying to use sophisticated software to break through and hack through corporate security. And when he should die, instead Papa Legba comes and saves him. And that's where his character starts to really develop, is that Papa Legba comes in and protects him because they're all logged into full consoles, kind of like I'd say that movie Ready Player One is another ripoff of William Gibson too. And that other author that Tracy was telling us about, Snow Crash, is really similar too. So once again, it's the suspiciously strange middle 80s, absolutely foreshadowing in science fiction the reality that we're seeing develop into full-blown, real, active stuff we can use nowadays right now. Like that camera you bought, like VR, like the 4D projections and holograms that we're starting to see come out.
It's an immersive technology.
Yeah. And so I was gonna subtract American from Papa Legba and see if we get any more traditional looks at him here, because that'll take American Horror Story out.
Have you seen The Prince and the Frog, SB, or Princess and the Frog?
Yeah. I've only seen it once, but yeah, he's in there for sure. So here's a more traditional picture of
Krista was
him.
being.
Yeah, and see right next to him here they've got. Oh, that's different. The Voodoo store, Papa Legba. So that's interesting art. Check out that sigil. Oh yeah, that's his sigil. I remember seeing it because I looked him up before. Are you seeing that?
I'm still waiting for it to pop over here.
This right here. Oh yeah, you're still waiting. Yeah, there's a big pretty line art sigil.
Oh.
Come on. I got a friend who just wants to say hi really bad, so I'm going to bring him up here. Hello. There you go.
What an exciting dog.
He is so happy. He's like, what is going on in this office? It's so loud and there's so much energy. This is Baja. Say hi, Baja. Oh, I guess he's not. Switch him over real quick here. Instead of Papa Legba, we got Papa Baja. Baja Legba. He's the master of treats.
Papa Baja.
Papa Baja. You guys want to see something funny here? Sit. 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 You gonna sit? Good boy. Good boy. Stay. Stay. Can you see him pretty good? Can you shake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good boy. Okay, come on. Get down. There you go. Everybody's got to get their shot in the spotlight. But yeah, Jem, if you've never checked out those William Gibson novels, they're awesome, dude.
I listened to one. I listened to Neuromancer.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah. And I have the other one on audio. If you want to listen to that at work, we can check it out. It's pretty long, though. It's not like... what did we listened to American Gods the other day while we were getting stuff done.
No, we listened to Norse
mythology.
Right?
Yeah, Neil Gaiman.
That was pretty awesome. I was totally just cracking up imagining Thor and his hijinks. He's such a goofball.
Yeah. And Loki's like that friend that you want to like, but you can't.
He's always there. He's little Eddie Haskell, hanging out, sticking firecrackers in the hot dog poop in the road, running away, getting it sprayed all over him.
Yeah, he's totally Eddie Haskell, exactly. You're looking very beautiful today, Mrs. Cleaver.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Audible, and so I could listen to Norse mythology in the car this weekend. I was listening to some of it. Pretty damn good.
Oh man, you should have told me. I could add you as like a family friends shared thing.
That's all right.
Now that's an interesting piece of art. Look at this guy in the back right. Can you see that thing yet? It's a trippy piece of art.
Mine's still up with the speed of.
Oh yeah, you must have had to pause or something.
I'm up to speed. I'm just 8 seconds. Whatever the people see it is when I see it.
This is a far out picture. I was just noticing that this guy on the right hand side with the bouffant hairdo, or with the, what do they call that when your hair is it's kind of a flat top, black flat top. He's got this the mono wheel like our friend does. The single
Like our
wheel
friend.
thingy.
What friend?
Oh, the guy from down the street from work.
Oh, one wheel.
Yeah, one wheel.
Trevor's got a one wheel.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty cool. It's like a skateboard with one wheel in the middle.
Yeah, we got a friend that has that item there in real life, and he drives around town. There's actually a few guys in here in Walla Walla that have them nowadays. So,
I've seen 3.
Windhammer, they're talking about Neil Gaiman in the chat, and Windhammer says, "Oi, Gavalt." Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I saw that show, the Good Omens, I think it's called. It was on Amazon Prime. Like 6 episodes of.
Yeah, I started watching it because my girl likes that kind of stuff, and it's pretty funny, dude.
It's pretty funny.
It really is pretty funny. I was looking at
Cute
some more
little
popular
show, I
ones.
guess.
Now, I like that one right there. That's cool. All right, so I guess let's should we go back and review some more of the show here?
Sure. I'm gonna see if this thing works for my phone, just out of curiosity.
What is it? I'm just gonna push play and let's let episode 13 roll for a second. See what comes up. Oh, Jim's cracking a beer, taking a seat.
Can we turn down the intros?
100
Yeah, I
here.
can do that. Get off your phone, Sean.
I must be seeing the delay myself there.
It's funny. We thought nobody was watching.
You better not get
Like nobody watched. Everybody's out looking at fireworks, having a barbecue.
Yeah, this episode's probably got some of the very lowest views of all of them because of that reason.
Yeah, maybe we better let this one roll first. Apple Tree by Adam Lore. Oh, actually, this is an Apple Tree. This is a different song.
The song is called Tree of You, I think.
This is so
It
meta.
does make you want to dance, doesn't it?
Isn't it weird?
Yeah. We're hanging out with ourselves, hanging
I
out with
need to
everyone
move
else.
that thing again so that it's not blocking us.
Everything we need out here, right?
Cheers.
Cheers.
No,
Oh, we can't. I think like once it started going, we'd see a firework and then we'd move the camera to point to where that was. And then
Yeah, we
another
were
one
trying
would watch
to
it.
track them. I remember we were definitely trying to track them.
There's some big spenders down the street that were setting off some beautiful fireworks shows that night.
Firecrackers up here? Over our heads yet?
Nope, not yet. We'll know when it happens.
You know, there's always somebody spending their whole paycheck on.
Oh, do you want to? Is your 3D thing charged?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
should
yeah,
probably
see,
grab
there
it
we're
and
talking
stick
about
it
it.
somewhere.
You see, I called it 3D too. It's 360, folks. It's a 360 camera.
Shoot pellet guns at it.
Yeah, we can
Protect it.
Just put something in front of it. Shoot.
Right now, I'm looking at us tonight.
It's really
Get
confusing.
back to
I have a clamp for legs that we can.
It's kind of hard for me not to look at the last year's stream because it's bigger and it's
So you
white
guys that are
on this
watching-
monitor. I got 2 monitors,
Can you hear us?
and I've
There's a lot
got
of
this. I'm
noise.
only watching us. in
Yeah, give us a
OBS.
heads up on how this mic works out here outside, huh? Press 1 for shut up, Sean, and 2 for Jim needs to take the lead this week.
Oh, I'm annoying. I don't know why you guys tuned into this crap. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch the old episodes. Do you ever go back and watch them, Jim?
So I've gone back and checked them out. Usually, not before Tracy came. It was some of them were kind of rough.
Oh, they're real rough. They're real rough. But yeah, we're definitely looking for recommendations for for a theme or a subject for the show. Not this upcoming Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. Stay off, Bob. Off. I'm going to kick you out. Stay. So, all caps in the chat, give us some recommendations for what you think is a good subject. I know people were chiming in when I started talking about the, what's it called? The Lucius Trust, Rand Corporation.
Well, that'd be cool.
It was the consensus method as opposed to Robert's Rules of Order. You know, Jem and I are old enough to remember when most meetings were held in the Robert's Rules of Order format, where they call the meeting together and bang the gavel and things are brought and put on the table and they're either voted on or they're delayed.
Yeah, nominate that we table the motion.
Right, and so that's Robert Rules of Order. You know, Roberts was a general who came up with like an organized plan for how to, you know, how to organize a meeting so that it goes smoothly, so that you can keep it from turning chaotic. So I don't remember how long ago it was. I haven't looked it all up. If we were going to do that as a subject, I would want to go and do all the footwork to get it all on a bullet list or get a good reference of the history of it. But the consensus method is more like they bring everybody and invite them in, whether it's in the community or it's like a homeowners organization or it's a corporation, whatever. They bring everyone in and they put everybody at tables, usually at round tables in groups, and they still allow everyone to try and address their issues. And then they usually have what they call a professional facilitator. So they have this person facilitate the outcome, and they call it facilitating to a consensus. So, you know, if people are interested in that, we could choose something like that as a subject. You know, I'm still definitely curious to see if we could get Nikki Rapana on to talk about communitarianism someday. I know that she finally pulled off a successful hemp fest up there in Alaska, and it was another huge pain in the ass. They totally were attacking her and gang stalking her and trying to sabotage her event, and like the sound guy dropped out on them last minute and they had to work around that, and then he started posting like derogatory stuff about both of these women on the internet. And this happens every year. This is like the third or fourth year they've done it, and every year they we're getting a call. Somebody's calling.
All right. You think it is?
You're on Picture Show. Welcome to Picture Show. Who are we talking to?
Hi.
Oh, hi.
This is Tracy Clement, actually.
This is Tracy Twyman.
Hey, Tracy.
It is.
Well, we're so glad to hear from you. How's it going?
Well, I guess the best way to sum it up is that the entropy levels are high.
Yes.
So, and I'm calling in. I watched a bit of the show. I missed part of it, but I'm calling in just to, you know, apologize to everyone who's a member of Plus Ultra Club that, you know, I know a lot of content has gone down and not a lot of new content has gone up lately. It has to do with exactly what I just said, largely that, which is that, you know, there's a little bit of chaos in my life, and also it seems like there's a lot of chaos in other people's lives as well, and in the world, at least from my perspective. And the news stories I'm seeing, the things like that, they're so odd, really, that it's hard to even get a grasp on how to analyze and report it to people. So I'm hoping that there'll be some way of getting a handle on it. But I don't know, you and I talked a little bit earlier, and, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I think, and you mentioned something like that too, which is, you know, just that there's a lot of change going on in the world quite rapidly, it seems, right now. So.
Well, that's definitely true, and it's funny that you say that entropy is high, because in high school I wrote a song called Entropy, and but yeah, I have an astrologer in my family who she's a veteran. She's been doing it for a long time, and I had done a reading almost a year ago, and I reviewed some stuff with her and went back to take a look because she saw a lot of stuff going on in my chart. But she said that the things that are going on astrologically right now are absolutely historic. And so after that conversation, I went back and listened to. I went back to Rune Soup. I haven't listened to any Rune Soup for a long time. But there's a guy named Austin Kopic, and the Gordon White will interview him every once in a while to talk about astrology. And he was calling this year the meat grinder. That was his nickname for the whole process we're all going through. That he said it wasn't like something that happens and then goes away like an explosion, but that it was like a meat grinder. And so. And as you know, we canceled last week because I had absolute catastrophe and tragedy happen, not in my direct family, but right close to it. You know, people that are close enough that I consider them family. And so, yeah, I
heard about that.
It's just, it's been really nutty, and I really am hoping that it starts to smooth out. There are some changes in the sky that are going to happen that depending on what your chart is and whether or not you believe in all that stuff, that it should smooth out. But I'm really glad to hear from you. I did encourage people the last show we had to keep, to stay signed up and keep supporting you, because it just, people tend to overreact, I think. I'm patient anyway. I hope other people can be patient too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that, those that have. And, there's been trouble with the website itself and me updating it, so I'm trying to get a handle on that. I mean, technically, it's part of the chaos that's going on. And, well, anyway, the astrology, I try not to take it too seriously because I don't want to, it has a self-fulfilling prophecy and things like that. I try not to, I guess sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I find that when I try to interpret the chaos too much, then it just sometimes makes it worse. So that's another thing, is that, I have to be more responsible, I think, than I have been in the past with trying to, figure things out that are unknown and seeing patterns and trying to figure out what they mean. I'm hoping that if I can back off a little bit from that and take a broader perspective, I guess, maybe not only will that help in my own life and with the content we're producing to improve the quality of it, but also improve the results. Like, when we look with the jaundiced eye, I guess, or with the, when you look at things with a certain bias and assume things maybe that are worse than they really are, then sometimes you end up making that. So that's, I guess, I'm hoping that the chaos will settle down here, and that I'll be able to give some analysis here in the future that will be more valuable, and also that the future itself will be brighter for all of us, really.
Here, yeah, and I totally agree, and just so everybody knows, I'm not really, I look at my daily numerology every day because I got fascinated with it, like 4 or 5 years ago. But the only reason I got a reading was because the lady's like part of our family, and I usually don't look at it at all for the same reason, because most people I know that follow it super close, they get caught up, especially if things are already negative, they get caught up in the process that you were describing, Tracy, where like they're trying to figure it out, and now they're kind of foreshadowing gloom and doom or uncertainty, and I definitely don't want to do that. I've got faith in the process I put myself in, that things are going to turn out good, because that's what I want more than anything, is a good outcome. So I try not to get stuck in the negative, So I totally get that.
Yeah, it can be hard, but I guess it's absolutely necessary. I like again, I say thank you very much for everybody that supported me, and especially anyone who's continued to support throughout all this time of uncertainty. And hope it ends soon. I guess uncertainty never really ends, but we can definitely remember times. I think certainly I can when things were felt like they were easier to grasp. So hoping that comes soon, and that those who continue on will see the results of that on the website and stuff. And even if those who have dropped out, I mean, still, I thank you very much for all the support you've given me in the past, and those who have helped, with content and stuff. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and also apologize to anybody who feels that they didn't get their money's worth, or anybody who didn't like the content that was there. I myself am evaluating to see, what should go back, because again, I think I need to be responsible, perhaps more critical of the things that I say and the things I put up there. Even if it's something that someone else does, I need to really think about whether or not I want to repeat it, because, things are, I think that has a lot to do with the chaos that I'm seeing in the news, is that people just keep repeating things, and I fall into the same pattern, the same habit of, oh, that's a really weird story. Here, I'll go tell everybody about it. But the fact is that it's really hard to ascertain what is true right now. So
it is, and I just want to say that you're getting overwhelming love and support in the chat here. People are happy to see you, and they're glad that you're okay. And so at least here live, we're definitely seeing nothing but love and support. And of course, Jem and I feel the same way. We've discussed it at length, obviously, that whatever happens happens, and we're happy with it. And of course, as we move forward, if things develop in a good way, we're perfectly happy to continue in whatever vein seems to work out best for everyone, so that we're building and creating something good and new. And so no expectation, but plenty of hope, and looking forward to a brighter future from us for sure, Tracy.
That's nice. Thank you very much, guys, for all the effort you put into everything. And I hope that there'll be some good developments in the future. I guess I'll just leave it at that, because right now I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really understandable, and you've got our support, not just here on the weekly broadcast, but if you want to, when you feel comfortable to, and if you'd like to, we can always jump in a private meeting and make some kind of a assessment, at least, not necessarily a plan, but we're certainly willing to jump into any kind of meeting with you and make an assessment of where we've been and where we are, at least, so that we know what to do next. So.
Okay. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys enjoy the holiday here. And I guess, everybody else too, enjoy the holiday, and hopefully we'll all be reconnecting soon.
Awesome. Thanks for calling, Tracy. We love you.
Thanks, Tracy. We love you.
Love you too, guys. All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
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 Oh, that Skype noise breaks my heart.
Oh.
That was good though. That was terrific. So that's just really, to me, that's really encouraging and reassuring, because as everybody knows that was really following this, we were right on the cusp and right on the fringe edge of uncovering some really crazy, weird, negative stuff surrounding the alleged suicide and what looks like a possible murder of Isaac Happy, and then everything just kind of crumbled. And so it makes me really happy to hear that Tracy's just feeling it.
I've definitely been feeling the chaos. Like last week, something happened, a couple weeks ago. That last week it culminated into just having to can the show for 1 week. Jim even considered going without me 1 week and just to be there. Look at this.
That was last week. I tried to, but I didn't have your.
Didn't have my login and password, and there was just no way I could pull away from what was going on. And everybody knows how it is. Like this, I would say that our show isn't just strictly entertainment, but it's like 80% entertainment and 20%, looking at kind of dark taboo stuff and learning stuff together. And we just had to step away, and it looks like maybe we're just at the beginning of coming through the other side of that, to where maybe we have to refine our entire approach. That's what I feel like. That's the gut feeling I'm taking away from Tracy calling right now, is that maybe the 3-hour sound check has gone as far as it can go in this format. If we really want to pick this thing up off the ground and get it moving, we're going to have to get a little bit more formatted and prepped out. Baja. This little dog is completely wiped out. I'm going to kick him out. Hold on, you guys. I got to kick this little puppy out. He's just acting crazy.
We just kind of got to hammer it down, figure out where we're coming from. It's kind of nice to be loose, I think. It's a pretty good feeling, and I still want to follow the similar topics like we're doing. I really do like the call-ins. I like hearing from you guys. I'm usually manning chat, and everybody has something really freaking interesting to say. I would like to have more of that, in each episode, on topic and also just random stuff.
Yeah, I agree, and I think at least some call-ins every week, maybe a little bit less sporadic like they've been tonight, but Harrison and Tracy both can just about call me anytime, anywhere. And if I have the time, I'll pick up the phone, so it doesn't really bother me. But I like the idea of always getting input from our audience, from the folks that are willing to join us here. And I love the idea. I think we should pull together a focused UFO show with you telling your UFO stories and your history of how you got into the UFO thing, and maybe have people call in if they have specific UFO experiences, or if they have specific UFO-related information that maybe people aren't privy to. I really like that idea. So maybe
I might tell a couple stories. I'm going to see if I can get some visual aids in setup.
So I'd like to do that. Yeah, I know we're not going to be on this Wednesday, and I don't know. I think next Wednesday is probably pressing you too hard to be ready. So maybe I was in it for 3 weeks. Yeah. So maybe like a month out from today or something would be a good estimate for when we could do a really solid formatted UFO show. And it's never been my thing, but I've always followed it a little bit, because if you're a conspiracy nerd, you can't really avoid alien UFO stuff,
Well, it's kind of what got me into this, and at least questioning everything and searching, and then I went around the whole merry-go-round of conspiracies. It started from a materialist UFO sort of place and ended up in this sort of metaphysical realm. I mean, everything that we talk about, the occult. I think that's kind of where it all started out. And I don't know. There was something that kind of jumped me back into it a few years ago, and that was a little boy that died in an accident at an amusement park, and I heard on the radio. I was listening to Coast to Coast on the radio, and they kept playing these little like clips for this news article, and they kept saying that a boy was decapitated on a water slide that was as large as the Statue of Liberty. And I just thought it was really weird that they would keep saying that it was as big as the Statue of Liberty amusement park ride, and then they said he was a senator's son or a state senator's son.
Yeah, I remember you telling this story.
And so I kind of was like, well, that's kind of a strange thing to say. Like all those things, like to repeat that it was as big as the Statue of Liberty. Why are they making this reference? And I started looking into it, and it was as big as the Statue of Liberty without the base. So I was like, well, that's kind of funny. Like wouldn't you consider the Statue of Liberty its height being from the ground up to the top, not just from the cement base going up?
Yeah, that's really weird. So they clarified that it was.
They said it was as large as the Statue of Liberty, and then I went and looked it up. I looked up the ride was called. It was a German word. It was this amusement park. It was called. What was it called? It was called. It's called like Madman. No, it was like. I forget the German name. I should look it up, but.
You want me to try and find it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and keep telling the story, and I'll see if I can find it here.
I looked it up, and it wasn't as tall as the Statue of Liberty, and then I found the height of the Statue of Liberty from just the bronze part, and it was the same height as that. So I was like, that's even weirder. And then I was like, well, I wonder what happened. It's kind of I'm gonna look up the guy, the senator, the state senator that was the boy's dad. So I started looking at him.
I've got an article here from Mercury News.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just glancing. So this is like 2016, it says? Or no, is it longer? That might have just been when the article was published.
I think.
So I was trying to rearrange this so that...
It was called like Berserker, or... No, what was it? It wasn't the word. It's a German word. It was a sort of a German-American theme park. Which I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. Like with the ties of Walt Disney and Werner von Braun and all that stuff to theme parks and German paperclip stuff. And then I saw that the day that it happened, they made the park free to people that were in politics and people in politics as families. And I was like, whoa, that's really a coincidence that this boy died on a day that it was free for him to go to. And then I started researching his dad, and his dad was calling he was stirring up a whole bunch of trouble about bonding students. He was making a big stink about how all these students in their state were being bonded for a whole bunch of money, and nobody was gonna, where's this money going? He was making a whole big stink about it, like he was getting super emotional in the videos talking about it.
Wait, so you're saying bonded meaning like insurance?
I think so. I wasn't really sure. I was just watching all these. Yeah.
So he was making
really
a stink.
About
He was making a stink about people insuring these kids, and then his son got decapitated on this water slide right here. I just put a picture of the slide up here, and the name was. Here I'll find it. It's called Verrucht, like VERRU.
Verrucht.
So I'll read the clip under the photo here. It says,
Verrucht.
In this July 9th, 2014 file photo, riders go down the water slide called Verrucht at Schlittenbahn Water Park in Kansas City, Kansas. That's weird that Schlittenbahn is in Kansas City. A former executive with Kansas Water Parks, where a 10-year-old boy died on the giant water slide, has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. Tyler Austin Miles, an operations director for Schlittenbahn, was booked into that local county jail on March 23rd.
So who was
It says.
Who was this guy?
I'm going to read that again. A former executive with the Kansas water park where a 10-year-old boy died has been charged with involuntary manslaughter. So this clip, so apparently the thing happened in 2014, but it's looking like something legal, something in the legal realm, something in court happened in 2018. So in a quest to be the record holder for the world's tallest water slide, investigators say Schlittenbahn Water Park of Kansas City rushed to build a dangerous and structurally complicated ride, ignored glaring safety red flags, and replaced mathematical calculations with crude trial and error methods. String of negligence, according to a recent unsealed indictment, resulted in the 2016. Oh, so it was in 2016. The picture was from 2014. Pardon me. Resulted in 2016 death of 10-year-old boy and more than a dozen injuries. Caleb Schwab, son of Kansas City State Rep Scott Schwab, was decapitated while riding the nearly 170-foot tall Verrückt, a German word that means crazy or insane. On Friday, a year and a half after the boy's death, the Kansas Attorney General's office announced criminal charges against the company and one of its former employees. So this is who they threw to the wolves. And yeah, so I'd say that kind of reminds me of what Tracy was just mentioning, that if you're not careful, you start to manifest things into reality. And to be in a big hurry and be sloppy about building your water slide and call it crazy or insane, well then you're generating results, you know. You're going too fast and you're not thinking about what you're doing, and then you're generating tragedy.
Did it say the date that happened, the tragic accident?
I'm pretty sure it said the 9th.
July 9th?
Yeah. Let me find it. If I search for just the word July.
So apparently some women came and they took him with them through the park. They were like kind of strangers to him, but they seemed nice, I guess, and so they were going on rides together.
August 7th, Jim.
August 7th.
So let's here I'll tell you guys a secret. I've got to get yourself a copy of your occult calendar and you can keep track of the dates.
Check that out.
Let's see what August 7th says.
So the safety equipment in that ride was a Velcro strap, and it would have been so easy for somebody the kid sat in the front.
Yeah, no date
behind him to reach over and unvelcro his strap right when they were going over the second hump.
No, say that again. I'm sorry.
They had Velcro straps holding you in.
Uh-huh.
So it would have been pretty easy for someone sitting in the middle, because the boy was sitting in the front, to reach up and yank and unvelcro his strap right when they were going over. There was an initial drop and then a hump and then another drop down to the bottom.
Right.
And it was right at the hump in the middle where his strap let go and he flew up and he hit his head on the guardrail. There's like a screen that guarded him. And I just got this gut feeling like those people, somebody undid his strap. Just a gut feeling. And it kind of made me...
a gut feeling that they did it to him on purpose.
Yeah, to shut up to Dad. Because Dad was a state senator that was kind of digging into some profitable, sort of shady stuff. He was going off about how shady it was. So for like a month.
There I found a decent...
on all these local shows. And then it kind of shut him down totally, because his son died in a tragic way. He backed out of all of his work.
So there's the slide. And that is just crazy how huge that thing is. And it's like it uses inner tubes.
Oh, Schlittenbahn. Yeah, that was it.
Pardon me, folks. Important news. Thank you. You can take this guy with you. I'll close the door now. Love you too. All right.
Bicep was a beheading. Is that?
So I got. Let's cut away from this gruesome details for a second.
Oh, cupcakes.
Someone brought me a cupcake with it's got a cookie on top of it. That's a fucking Goliath cupcake. Okay,
Happy
back.
4th of July. Happy 4th of July.
I can try and pull that off here in a minute.
Did you look up that date in the
I
book
did,
of-
and there's nothing there for August 7th. There's not.
What happens like that week? So I think that it's the.
I'd have to Google it.
I thought it was the beginning of the week of summer sacrifices.
Hey, Jim, remember that scientific study they did? Like, if a kid can sit and wait to eat his cupcake, then he gets 2. Well, I just want you to know, when we did that, when I was in grade school, I failed. And just in case anyone doesn't know, this is the proper way to eat a cupcake. You rip it in half and you stick the bottom on top, and that way it'll, what's that word you guys use all the time since you've been watching that engineer?
Oh, what is his name?
That's a great channel.
Oh yeah.
Skook? No, what's that?
He says skookum.
Skookum, but no, the word that makes it go.
Chooch. Will it chooch?
Chooch, yeah. This is how you make a cupcake chooch better, is by ripping it in half and eating it this way. But yeah, you should definitely tell our audience the name of that guy's channel.
I'm gonna check it out.
And I'll try and see if
He's an engineer from Canada, and he takes stuff apart and tells you what makes it chooch. And he's pretty hilarious and pretty awesome. His name is AVE. His channel is AVE.
I'm trying to Google here while I eat a cupcake with one hand. August 7th, occult significance.
I think there's something that happens that week. I think it's maybe the 9th or I don't remember. I think that you were friends with someone back then, and I asked you, and you asked them, and they said that the summer sacrifices started.
Oh yeah, here we
right.
go. Lug Nassid.
What is it?
It's LUGHNASADH. Here, I'll just put the screen over here so you can see it.
Is that German?
Is a Gaelic festival marking the beginning of the harvest season. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. Most Irish call it Lunasa. I'm going to skip ahead here. Traditionally on August 1st, or halfway between the summer solstice and autumn equinox. In recent centuries, some of the celebrations shifted to the Sundays nearest this date. So that'd be curious what day of the week August 7th, 2016 would be.
I feel like it was a Tuesday, but I can look that up.
Well, that would make sense too, because there's Mars, right? Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Isn't that what they say? Oh, yeah. Check that out. Here's your modern Lugnassid corn dolly, representing the god Lu.
It was Sunday.
It was Sunday, so that's what they said, that they traditionally they've been moving it to. It was Sunday, 2016, August 7th.
Yeah, August 7th, 2016 was on Sunday.
Spooky.
Yeah, and it kind of creeped me out. It kind of freaked me out. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop Googling stuff to research this. I don't want to be on somebody's hit list. It was before I really had delved into any research on my own without, just watching stuff people had already presented to me, on YouTube that I'd searched or that popped up or that, it was back when you were telling me about the, what was his name, with the guy that had all like the 2 days worth of videos that he put out.
Oh, yeah. I'm still tentative to talk about him, but I'll tell you his name's Peter Kawaja.
Peter Kawaja.
And
Yeah.
a quick recap of why Jim would bring Peter Kawaja up. He was the guy that I found, and his information's been almost completely scrubbed from the internet. You can find a couple clips here and there, and a little bit of kind of half-assed disinformation that they published after he was dead. But long story short, Peter Kawaja ran his own military-grade security company. It was a private security company, and he got contracts with like arms dealers or municipalities. Like they would hire him to run security because he would only hire ex-soldiers, and they were really high-end, like $1 million accounts. And usually he would have to bid to get an account, but in one occasion they came to him with a no-bid account, and they wanted him to do security on this fruit flavoring plant in Boca Raton, Florida. And he agreed, and he started to set up and outline what he was going to do, and he showed it to the chief of the fire department, and the chief of the fire department was like, no way, we want it way ramped up from here. That's not enough security. We want like 7 inches of glass so we can see your guys inside the building, and if anybody's down, we're not coming in there, and like all this way extra security. He didn't understand. Like, okay, because he has to do the ramped up security because it's the chief of the fire department. He has to do whatever he tells him to if he's going to get the job done. And so again, long story short, he goes ahead and does that, makes all this extra infrastructure in his opinion, and they're making natural cherry flavoring, and a byproduct of fruit pits is cyanide. And so what it turned out was that the guys that were funding it, one guy was a French guy named Louis Champon, and his family owned, they were wealthy, and I think they were perfumers or something. And then there was another guy named Hyder Barbuti, and you can find this. You can find like regular press and court documents to verify everything I'm saying. And it turned out they were making Prussian blue hydrogen cyanide, and the way Kawaja figured it out was that one day, instead of soda cans and Kool-Aid and everything coming down the assembly line, he said it was mop gear, which is what they'll have soldiers put on in the war when they're going to be in a chemical or biological weapons attack, right? And gas masks and mop gear were coming down the assembly line, and so he started to try to figure out what the hell, why is it not focused on natural fruit flavoring, and instead we're looking at military equipment. And so he started wearing a body mic and miking all the phones and making copies of all their documents. And he contacted the federal government and all the ABC agencies, and they told him, do a good job, you're doing good, keep documenting and we'll get back to you. And they didn't realize how excellent a job he would do of documenting what was happening. So he ended up with like stacks of audio tapes and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of documents that he photocopied. And like I said, he was wearing a body mic and recording conversations and leading people. And eventually they realized that he documented enough information to prove that the federal government and all the ABC and military agencies knew what was going on, and they were a party to it. And long story short, he eventually was murdered, and they even impersonated him back in the 90s, in the early 2000s. They got voice modulation software that sounded just like him, and they had that video technology that we see now. How everybody's freaking out about deep fakes? They call it deep fakes, and it, like you can superimpose a famous woman's face on a porn star is the main example people will see, and that technology existed then because I saw reports of it, and I heard some of the audio interviews where there was someone who was, because he did a lot of audio, he presented all of that evidence I just described to a video camera himself, and he called it his grand jury, and it was like 24 hours of footage that he'd recorded just presenting his evidence with no speculation and no interjection on his part of what he thought it meant. He had an overhead projector and stacks of paper, and he would slap a document up on the overhead and describe what it was and go on and on. He said he edited it from 24 hours of footage down to 12. And eventually they came and they tried all these techniques to try and get him to give up his information. they like agreed to put him on 2020, and he actually was on 2020, but they didn't really publish his whole story, and on and on. And after I found the 12 hours of audio, not the video, but I found the 12 hours of audio of him presenting his evidence, and it spooked me off of looking at conspiracies for like 5 or 6 years, because it was hardcore, man. It was absolute evidence of corruption at that time, from what he found all the way to Bush Sr. Like, without any shadow of a doubt, Bush Sr. knew exactly what was going on. He had audio recordings of senators laughing about washing the hydrogen cyanide down the drains in Boca Raton because they had to get rid of some of it. And it's just nuts. You can't find any of this information hardly at all now. You can find little scrap pieces here and there, because every once in a while I'll go back and see what's up there. So all the information that I had found, it was disappearing even as I was saving it back then. Like, I'd find it and download it, and then I wouldn't get them all, and I would go back to look, and that webpage would be dead. And this has got to be, I don't know, I want to say 06, 05, 06.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't remember what you said that got us over on the Kawaja trip, but there was
I was talking about this thing with the boy's name was Caleb Schwab, and his dad, the state senator, was Scott Schwab, and it kind of spooked me, because I looked up Scott Schwab, and he had some videos where he was getting hot and bothered about some inappropriate spending and bonding that was going on in his state. And I was looking for them. I found most of the search was taken up by stuff with that accident, but there might be one here, a little 4 minute, 20-second video. I can send that to you or something, perhaps.
Yeah, if you want to zap that over. Oh, the other thing, if you're going to look up Kawaja, if anybody's going to try and follow up and look up Peter Kawaja, you have to include the information from a woman named Linda Kennedy. They call her Christian attorney Linda Kennedy, and she was the one that clarified what Kawaja's information meant in such a way that it was more able to be understood, because there's a woman named Joyce Riley. Joyce Riley came and tried to be Peter Kawaja's like CIA wife, and he started to fall for it at first because his wife had died. He alleged that they had murdered her with like an Ebola-style virus or something. And they sent Joyce Riley. Now, Joyce Riley was really famous for the whole Gulf War syndrome thing. She was the main person that came out being the alleged whistleblower about Gulf War syndrome, and she was actually a government asset and was trying to marry Kawaja and trying to manage his information and get his information from him, and he figured it out and turned against her. And Linda Kennedy was the one that could explain how Joyce Riley was paralleling Kawaja's information to make it seem like she was revealing the truth when really she was obfuscating it. And that's really how I ended up on the whole idea of paralleling. I know anyone that's watched me talk about my efforts in the conspiracy stuff, that's one of the main things that I look for. If something really important is happening that is good information that you'd like to learn about, whether it's negative or not, doesn't matter. If it's just important information and they don't want you to have it, oftentimes what you'll see is they'll find someone to duplicate similar information, and instead of trying to stop you or snuff you out from telling the truth, they'll put someone parallel to you and have their information be almost everything that you said, but then leaving out key details. Like Nikki Rapana, they did this for communitarianism. They did it with a woman named Rosa Corey. If you go compare Nikki Rapana's research to Rosa Corey's research, it's almost exactly the same, except for Rosa Corey leaves out key elements, like she won't talk about Zionism, for example. It was one element that she definitely leaves out. And it's just the same thing. That's what Joyce Riley was doing to Peter Kawaja. She was paralleling his information and leaving out all the key important issues and muddying the water and changing it. Like, he was talking about chemical weapons because it was cyanide, and she came out and changed the story so that it was biological weapons, and made it all about how they were making biological weapons in the lab, you know, made it more like sci-fi and weird.
I sent it to your phone. My Twitter's not on my new phone yet, so.
Oh, I see. Okay.
His name's Scott Schwab. I typed in Senator Bond issues. Schwab's a German name.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can type this link in here.
Motherland or something. Schwabenland is a part of Antarctica. I forget what it means.
I'm just trying to type the hyperlink here because I don't have a way to send my app that I usually use to bounce stuff straight to my phone is I had to uninstall it because it's not working and I haven't put it back yet. So let's see if this will bring it up. Let's see. I guess I could forward this to myself somehow.
So the Schwab family name first began to be used in the German state of Bavaria. It's a regional name for a person who was from Swabia, having derived from the Germanic word Schwaben, means Swabian, and is derived from the name of the Germanic tribe that inhabits the region. So it's kind of funny that Verrückt is a German word. The park where all this happened was Schützen. What was it called? Schittermann. And the senator in question, his name was Schwab. And I like to look up the names of, or the meanings of names. And so the son's name is Caleb, which means dog. And it's just, I don't know, it's...
I know what you're describing is the typical conspiracy person's process, and this actually works to bring you lots of interesting information, but it's also the same reason that people that don't do this think that we're all goofballs, right?
Yeah.
Like you're taking it way too far. Like until you get into this, you do think that people are taking it too far until you start to get the correlations going yourself. Until it happens to you, you don't understand.
Yeah. Well, if you're a bad guy and you want to send a message to somebody, you kill their dog.
Yeah, and if you're a really bad guy and you want to send a message to somebody, then you kill their son. You know?
Yeah, and if their son's name is Caleb, which means dog, then you're
still killing their dog. So here we go, Comcast, Kansas City. I wonder, I'm just going to roll this and I might pause it along the way to make sure we don't get flagged here. So, Kansas State Representative Scott Schwab. So this is him probably talking about it. All right.
Hello.
Yeah, he's got these wild eyes, too.
Today we're going to be talking about education.
He's like a loose cannon, for sure.
Monday at Truman Medical Center's Kansas City's Essential Hospital. And we are here with Kansas Representative Scott Schwab. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So, wow, a tough battle over education funding this year, right?
It really was. We've created...
So, starting off with education funding, and like I said, I'm just going to pause here and there, try and keep it to like 25-second clips just in case, because knock on wood, I've yet to get any, I've gotten some ads added to videos, but never been flagged, so.
A model that has been a patchwork ever since the 90s when it passed, and it ends up being litigated, so then the legislature just does whatever it needs to do to get the court off their back, and then it ends up being something we can't afford, so then we get sued, and then we do something to get the court off our back. So what we did is just ended that process, blocked.
Okay, so he's talking about what all real high-quality politicians are trying to do. Like, oh man, the system, the way it's working, is really stupid and sloppy and ineffective. So
exactly.
We reached our hand in here, and we decided to change that around a little bit. And the reason people don't like that is because that cuts out a big loop of people that got their hands out for getting their piece of the pie.
Granted increases to all the school districts while we develop a new plan. And instead of just throwing the plan out there, we want to come up with a plan we can pilot to make sure it actually works.
So your area is Olathe. So the Olathe school district there, do you feel like after everything shook out that they have enough funds to do what they need to do there?
They do from the state.
Okay, so that's interesting. So he's saying that the state funding is looking pretty yippy skippy. If people are, if you're curious to look up examples of corruption in the school district, look up New Jersey. The state of New Jersey, the administrative, the amount of administrative jobs that they created in New Jersey in the school district, they made a whole documentary about it. It's insane what they did. It's just insane. Like they took the cake. They took it above and beyond what you could possibly imagine.
As a matter of fact, they got $1 million more than they had last year, and that's not including the increased dollars we gave for capers. What's frustrating is they went out and said that they were laying off teachers, which then when they released their budget last week, they didn't. They eliminated computer programs that weren't working, but they didn't release the teachers. But they...
Interesting, okay. This is so typical. Like, this is the main reason I can't ever invest any hope in any local or state or especially national political thing, because it just doesn't work.
They make an example out of you.
Yeah, there's what do you mean crazy eyes? Hold on, I'm gonna use my snipping tool to grab that. It's a great shot. We need this guy here. That's a picture show meme. I'll put this in the Discord, and I will PayPal $1 to anybody that comes up with the best meme.
All right.
I gotta save as Schwab.
I'll add $1 to that. $2. And $1 from the piggy.
Hey, Piggy, we got a bunch of money stacking up. We're gonna have to fund this show, remodel the studio, and get back in one place here. So, all right, let's keep it rolling. Here we go.
1 hour a week for their paras because it saves them $50,000. But then the superintendent gets a $20,000 pay raise, which I think is a little disingenuous when you blame the state that you're not getting enough money when you did, and then you get a pay raise when state employees haven't had a pay raise in 4 years, simply because we're constantly pouring that money back into K through 12.
So when you talk to parents in your area, what do they say to you?
Well, they say what they hear on the news. Why are they having to lay off teachers? And then when I say, well, they didn't lay off a teacher, it was actually an hour where students go and sit at a computer and learn Spanish so that teachers could have more time to do lesson plans instead of having to do it at home.
Those crazy eyes. This is really banal and plain, eh?
Well, I'm not sure if he's. I mean, I watched several videos about. He just kind of hit the streets and made a bunch of did a bunch of interviews within like a month or two before this all happened, and he was, hot and bothered to create some change and some good change and to call out corruption and unfair stuff.
Trying to do his job, exactly.
Yeah. He's got these wild eyes. They're thinking, oh, there's no way we can buy this man. He's totally insane. He's not going to take our money.
And we've got people in the chat speculating whether or not this man is an artificial intelligence creation, whether he's even a real person at all. That's the world we're living in nowadays, where it's like, oh, what's going on with this guy? And someone's like, it's not even a guy. That's just generated by an AI, Jim. This guy isn't even real. There's no Waterslide in Kansas City.
Why do you think they would say the little boy was killed? He was on a water slide that was as big as the Statue of Liberty. His dad was a senator. Why would they link those three things together? And he was decapitated.
Yeah,
why would they keep linking those things together?
The Statue of Liberty thing is really curious. It really is, man.
Like the fact that they said it was as tall as the Statue of Liberty made me think like, well, what do you think of America? Was this boy killed for America? Was this boy killed for ISIS?
So it's saying that it's 305 feet. And I'm wondering, okay, so... No, the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, well, that could be the... check out Varut. We'll see the height. I'll look that up.
I was just getting curious here. I wanted to see. Oh yeah, I've got this. So, oh, that's interesting the way that they measure it. They don't give you the measurement of the actual statue, Jim.
It was 167 feet for the Verrucht.
I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to read. Okay, so the smallest measurement they give you is from the top of the head to the base.
Top of the head.
But
To the feet.
Yeah, to the feet, but not to the bottom of the base.
How tall is that from the top of the head to the feet? Oh, there's one from the.
So from the ground to the torch is 305 feet 6 inches. That's what you said. 305 was the ride?
Let me look.
No, it wasn't that tall.
No, it said 167. I don't know why they said it was the same height as the Statue of Liberty then.
Yeah, the base to the torch is 151. I mean, that's similar, but yeah, how weird, dude.
That was the reason why I looked it all up, because they said it like every 15 minutes. I was listening to a Portland news radio station that had coast to coast. I was listening, via iHeartRadio. It was like 1190 KEX, which I used to listen to when I lived in Portland. Every 15 minutes they have a news break for 7 minutes or some nonsense like that. And it popped in a couple times, and I was like, they keep saying different information, but the one thing that stays the same is that the water slide was as tall as the Statue of Liberty. Maybe the slide part was as long as the Statue of Liberty or something.
It's 301 feet and 3 inches, the total height on this older graphic. And it's not giving any other measurements for height. How strange, yeah. The whole thing's very strange.
It says at 160 feet 7 inches, Verrucht became the world's tallest water slide when it opened in 2014, surpassing the Kilimanjaro at Aldeia das Águas Park resort in Brazil.
I wonder if Verrucht is still up there.
No, I think they tore it down.
Look at here. Let's since we're starting with this, let's be good reporters of the news. So Kansas City Star, there's a good song there. Kansas City Star. Is this finally the end for Schlittenbahn? Oh, they want me to turn off my ad blocker. Okay, you guys. I'll tell it not to run on this page so we can look at your. And this looks like a video. So this is from June 14th. So just earlier last month, halfway through last month, we're finally getting some results. Oh yeah, they're tearing it down. There you go, Jem.
Huh. I found a picture of the tallest water slide. It's Verrucht.
Yeah, they're pulling down the last two sections.
They're saying it's taller than the Statue of Liberty.
That's them pulling it down. So it's welcome and overdue news. The company's operation of its water park in western Wyandotte County was disastrous. How not to serve the public interest. So it did remain open after the accident. And Verrucht never ran again. But it was still standing there for 2 years.
Oh, I found a video of the 10 tallest water slides in the world. And there's a picture of Verrucht being taller than the... it says... taller than the
Statue of Liberty?
Niagara Falls, and taller than Statue of Liberty. So how tall is the Statue of Liberty?
I'd have to go back and find it again here.
From
So I've got this one open. So
From
151 feet from the
300.
151 feet from the base to the torch. That's not including the base that it's standing on. The statue itself, the bronze, it looks like the bronze is actually slightly shorter than 151 feet because they're including the entire base. Can you see that on the screen?
Yeah,
there?
151. That makes sense. Varuk is 168 feet 7 inches.
Okay.
So it's taller than the Statue of Liberty.
That's probably why they were saying it then.
By I think that the thing I looked at showed it was like 300 feet, but I think that was the base also for the Statue of Liberty.
All right.
Yeah, but it was taller than the Statue of Liberty. I mean, and most people haven't seen it up close, so they don't know how big it is. So wouldn't you say it's, I don't know, 170 feet is pretty high. It's like a 17-story building.
Sorry, I found something shocking and I had to look it up. So here you go, folks. A Canadian cartoonist has been fired because he drew this illustration of Trump golfing next to a dead immigrant. But yeah, just so that you understand why you're witnessing my ADD, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder. I'm kind of lost now.
So it was on a day where it was free to people in politics and their families. It was as high as the Statue of Liberty. It was a senator's son, state senator's son, who was stirring up a bunch of trouble for the status quo. It was on the first day of the summer season.
It was the beginning of the sacrifice season.
Beginning of the sacrifice season, yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff, it made me go, ugh, I better stop Googling stuff.
Well, yeah, that's why they portray us conspiracy researchers as nutballs in all the movies, because the feeling and the process can lead you to too many synchronicities, too much chaos. I remember it was Jason Horsley, and I think the man's name is Branko Malic. Branko Malic is a really interesting political reporter from Ukraine, I think. And they were talking about how you think that you're making progress when you find a lot of synchronicities, but really you're increasing the chaos, because the more things that your brain has to take note of instead of ignore, it creates white noise, you know?
Yeah.
But I think your speculation is legit, and the likeliness that we could actually untangle it to know for sure is almost impossible, right? Like, if they wanted this guy to shut up, that's definitely a good way to do it.
For sure.
But it does seem far out to imagine them actually piling somebody behind his kid on the ride and having whoever is behind him have the balls to loosen up his strap. I don't know.
Like a couple witches, you know, setting him up for a paycheck. And they were like, oh, it was terrible. He died in front of us. And then they kind of let him go.
You can't be bullying witches on RX Only Picture Show, Jim.
Well, I'm just kidding. Terrorists. I don't know. Just,
It was just a joke, man.
You were listening to that 411, missing 411 stuff today?
Yeah. About people in national parks. That's a subject that we could cover. That's another potential episode.
That's a good episode.
I closed the door to keep the dogs out, and now this room is like sweating me out. Like I got the Lemmy here.
Well, there was something about a lot of the smiley face killer victims were of German descent.
Yeah, that's
kind of
true.
relates to this Waterslide thing.
He said even the mainstream researchers admitted that wasn't just like a rash speculation, that there was definitely more people. I think he said it in both, right? In the national park disappearances and the smiley face murders, that there was a higher percentage of Germans that were killed.
I'm not sure about the parks because the parks were like all over the place. Some parks had more male victims, more male people disappeared. Some parks had more females. Some parks had more kids. You know, it was kind of all over the place. But the main thing was there was something happening. People were disappearing in odd circumstances, and nobody was able to find them. You know, it was a big mystery. Like, they would search for 8 days and then find a body in a place where they searched, you know, every single day, and then there's a body there.
Yeah, the stuff we were listening to today, how they were talking about dispatching huge numbers of special forces guys to
Green
help,
Berets.
like 130 Green Berets and 6 helicopters, and people are going off in the chat here. This is are you following the chat?
Yeah.
Let's see. Branko Malic is from Croatia. Thank you for that, Oswald Spenger. And yeah, Cali Tribune is where you can find Branko. If you've never listened to there's a 3-part broadcast by Branko Malic about the very origin of conspiracy and how it has to do with the Enlightenment and how it all started with like the first guy to ever really write a conspiracy book as we know it today. Oh, come on, brain. What was his name? Anyways, that episode, I'll try and find it and post it in the Discord or post it in the notes for this show. It really explains the Illuminati, the true origins of conspiracy as we know it in the modern world. I just can't think of his name. And Eddie Scotton is saying Chapel Perilous. I think that's from a book. That's from that book, Blood Meridian. Pretty sure.
Blood Meridian.
Yeah, that's a horrible book. I mean, it's amazing and it's very Gnostic, but it's really graphic in its detail and it's just bloody murder. It's like they hire a bunch of ruthless cowboys to go headhunt and scalp the Indians, and it's like a true horror story, Cowboys and Indians fiction story, and it's a trip.
Yeah.
And our runes named friend says 151 is in itself peculiar. It screams 33 if you read between the lines. Which that makes me, I wonder how 33 relates to 151. My brain's not pulling, is drawing a blank. It seems 151 is a significant number. I just can't remember from what.
Palindromes are us. The Rum Diaries. 151 Rum. I'm not sure if it's in the Rum Diaries. I only saw the movie, I didn't read the book.
Yeah, I never did read the Rum Diaries either. I kind of got turned off of reading any Hunter Thompson after I realized he was very likely involved in filming and producing snuff films. Really put me off of appreciating him in any way.
I was a hunter for Halloween one year.
I was SpongeBob S. Thompson one year. My little sister had a SpongeBob costume, and it was just barely big enough that I could wear it like a shirt. And then I found a visor and some glasses and a cigarette holder, and I went, as it was a late costume idea, SpongeBob S. Thompson. I forgot all about that. Thanks for reminding me, Jim.
That's awesome.
Well, here, I got an idea here. Let's at least do this, since we're drawing closer to the end of the show here.
Hold on for a second.
No, that's not right.
I'll be right back.
Oh, where'd my hair go?
Yeah, I think I'm picking it up. All right, from the top. I'm going to start with
Hey, I said pause.
Straight into the hat.
All right. Oh, it looks like Jim disappeared. Is this when I'm supposed to read jokes? Let's see, I should be able to come up with some jokes off the top of my head. No, I'm not getting anything. So what I'm going to do here is, many years ago, I wrote a song called Fireworks Barbecue. And last year, on the 4th of July during the show, we were talking about it, and I may have even busted out the guitar and played it. And I did eventually come back and play it on the show, and I clipped it out as a standalone song. And so I was going to at least play that, if not grab the guitar from the other room and potentially play the song itself. So Krista says, have you read The Forbidden Universe, Occult Origins of Science and the Search for the Mind of God? No, Krista, I have not. It sounds interesting. I will take note of that for sure. Yeah, there we go. Eddie Scoten, 151. Prime numbers. We used to drink straight shots of 151. Those days are long gone, thank God. So yeah, this is Fireworks Barbecue. And, I'm just going to go ahead and play this and wait for Jim to get back. Here we go.
Happy 4th of July is on 2 and 3 and Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Everybody's gonna stop by. Everybody's going to try on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Not everybody likes to fly, but everybody seems to get high on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Nobody deserves to die. Da ba da ba ha da la da da da. But for the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July.
Oh, I thought this one was the 4th of July episode. Play it on the 4th outside.
Go back and try and find it.
I could work.
Play something you know.
I was going to suggest that story about the girl that got catfished by someone on the internet named Tyler. And Tyler told her that he was a multi-millionaire and that he wanted her to kill somebody and he would pay her $9 million. And she ended up killing her friend by the river in Alaska.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Remember that story? I heard it the other day. I mean to change the subject there, but
no, I was just trying to see. I think you're right here. Let's try this track one more time. Approximately 1 year ago today. Look at the. I like the two empty chairs there. See that?
Nice.
So let's see what happens here. Oh, we're gonna have to unmute. Looks like we put a lot of work into this show.
Yeah.
When's it start paying dividends?
Oh, look at that. Look at those fancy lights.
Yeah.
I feel like I should definitely get one more take of Fireworks Barbecue.
Nice.
2 and 3 and 4. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Everybody's gonna stop by. Everybody's going to try on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Not everybody likes to fly, but everybody seems to get high on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Not everybody wants to cry. Nobody deserves to die before the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Well, I think that's a good take. I needed that.
Yeah.
You know, even
That was good. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
That makes me feel.
Yeah, that was.
It makes me feel.
I put that song in my head when you played it that night. Put that song in my head forever. I mean, sometimes I'm walking down the street and I start singing Happy 4th of July.
It's funny because I probably would have never truly finished writing the song if it wasn't for the show, because I wrote it all those years ago and then I never wrote the lyrics down until we started to do the show, and then I developed the song back into a complete linear idea because I knew I was going to end up performing it last year on the 4th of July. So it's what a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and thanks to I'm getting some positive feedback, and I really appreciate that. That's
Yeah, Eddie Scott, and it is a freaking catchy jam.
we used to always have huge family get together on the 4th of July, and we don't do it as much because people move away and things change. But my mom was always the house where everyone would show up when you were a kid. Like she was that lady. She's the awesome lady that. It's not like she would party and drink, or she never was a person who smoked or drank or did any of that stuff. But she was always non-judgmental and cool as long as everyone could keep their shit together. You could come hang out, and she didn't really want people drinking, but she wouldn't. She'd rather you sit around and have a few drinks as opposed to being anywhere else. But she was chill, And so we used to have big family get-togethers on the 4th of July and other holidays. So. Just don't forget to feed us. Oh, that's you talking.
Yeah.
It's funny, Ryan Martin's in the chat for that episode too. Isn't that funny?
Chris has said I'm seeing the old image as Sims. Like the game?
Yeah.
I said, don't forget to feed us.
Yeah, you better send me to the bathroom. And then
Yeah, don't lock us in the...
Jim will get
the-
frustrated and have to tell jokes in the game.
You know, that was a thing back in the day.
Oh, well, we played The Sims for crazy, like... I remember I made a whole black family and I couldn't keep them, and I used to get so mad because I'd have to go back. There was like 6 Sims. It was really hard. And the authorities would always come take the kids, and I'd get so mad, so I'd go back to my old save point, and it just made me so mad because that was the only family I really liked playing. I made a few other families, you know, of course, like you make everyone in your own household or whatever, but that was the family I really spent the most time building their house and working it up, and I finally did get it rolling pretty good, but I used to get so mad, like, oh, I see the stupid car pulling up. And yeah, on my YouTube, folks that are talking about the song still, it's there as a single take. That other one is by itself. Maybe I should timestamp this too. I'll write it down. Maybe I'll pull this one out too because it's got some fireworks. I can't.
You should. I think that's a better cut, actually.
It is. Somebody commented that my.
I'm playing the piano, I think.
Yeah, well, the other one you're playing the piano, but it's not. It's either not plugged in or it's not coming through. So.
I was going kind of light there, but I was dancing hardcore. I mean, I could have got dollar bills for that.
Oh,
awesome
absolutely!
dance.
Your dancing was great.
That was 4th of July gold.
2 hours, 21 minutes, 14 seconds. And it's called Fireworks Barbecue is the name of the song.
Happy 4th of July.
And like I said to you earlier, dude, I always have imagined it so that as it's playing, there's a clarinet that kind of meanders along with the whole thing. So it goes, Happy 4th of July, Happy 4th of July. You know, like, I've always heard it with clarinet music.
Hey, SB, how's your guitar playing hand?
I could try it. I don't know. I don't know if I even remember the chords. It's been so long since I played it. I'd have to go in the other room. And if we do that, then I'm calling it a show because it's almost 3 hours.
Oh, no. It was a great song. I'd love to hear it.
Let me see. I don't know if I have a pickup here or not. Let's see.
You can only play that song once a year. I mean, it'd be...
That's usually what I do, play it once a year. All right, I'll be right back. Let's see if I can find the guitar.
Let's see if we're gonna pull up a joke. Pull up a joke here.
See.
All right. Let's see. We're gonna. How about a? Chocolate joke. I love chocolate, so here's some chocolate jokes. What kind of candy is never on time? Chocolate. What are the 4 major food groups? Pizza, coffee, chocolate, and sex. How does a recipe for German chocolate cake begin? First, invade the kitchen. How can you tell that a blonde's been baking chocolate chip cookies? Well, there's M&M shells all over the floor. Terrible jokes. If Jake has 30 chocolate bars and eats 25, what does he have? Diabetes. Jake has diabetes. What is a monkey's favorite cookie? You guys, what is a monkey's favorite cookie? It's chocolate chimp. What do you call a lamb covered in chocolate? A lamb covered in chocolate is a candy bar. Bah. Did you hear about the love affair between Mr. Goodbar and Peppermint Patty? Well, they had a baby Ruth. What do you call a womanizing chocolate? You call it a Cadbury. Cadbury. How do you know it's cold outside? When you milk a brown cow and you get chocolate ice cream, of course. What is the chemical formula for the molecules in candy? Carbon, Holman, cobalt, lanthanum, tellurium, or CHOCOLAT. That was a big one.
Can't find a pig.
Why did the blonde buy a brown cow?
Why is that?
To get chocolate milk, of course. What do you get when you dip a kitten in chocolate?
What?
You get a kitty cat bar.
Oh my God.
What candy is only for girls? Hershey's Kisses. What kind of chocolate do they sell at the airport? They only sell plain chocolate.
Plain?
Plain chocolate. What is an astronaut's favorite chocolate? Of course, it's a Mars bar. What is the opposite of chocolate?
I thought it was a fake as fuck bar.
What is the opposite of chocolate?
What?
Choco early.
Those
What
are-
did the M&M go to... Wait. What is the opposite of chocolate? Choco early. What did the M&M go to college? I think it meant why did the M&M go to college? Because he wanted to be a smarty.
That's pretty funny. That was the first one that was kind of funny.
What do you call Chewbacca when he has chocolate stuck in his hair?
I don't know.
Chocolate chip Wookie.
What?
Chocolate chip Wookie. What Christmas carol do candy bars sing? Well, of course they sing Almond Joy to the World. What is a French cat's favorite dessert? Chocolate mouse.
Moose.
Moose.
Ah.
Mouse. Moose. What kind of candy bar does an employee crave before the weekend? He craves a payday.
Guess what?
Why did Embryo go to the dentist? Because it lost its filling. Well, an egg dipped in chocolate. Decadent. What happens when you try to eat 5 candy bars at once? You're gonna choke a lot. What does it do before it rains candy? It sprinkles. What do you call a dancing chocolate bar? Nestle Crunk Bar. Why does the jelly bean go to school? Because he wants to become a smarty. Boy. Oh, I can't believe that Jesus is so sweet. Girl. Well, that's because he was a lifesaver. That wasn't a chocolate joke.
All right.
What do you get when you cross iced chocolate and a big strawberry, a giant pineapple, and cold milk? The world's best sundae.
All right. Looks like I've got the song up on the screen here, even with the lyrics. I didn't realize that if you want to play the song, it's in the description of the first version I played. I'll drop that in the. I'll drop the link in the description here right now. So don't forget.
One more joke, you guys. How many grams of protein are there in that slice of chocolate pie? 3.14159.265, etc.
No, what? I don't get it.
The pie joke. 3.1924.
Oh, I get it. Okay, sorry, I was distracted.
159.265.
And I'm gonna have to do this with no. Excuse me, with no. What do you call that? No pick. And since I did get someone.
Picky. Don't be
Actually,
picky, Sean.
You can go ahead with a few more jokes so I can make sure to get this thing in tune because I was already getting comments.
You want to hear more jokes?
A couple more so I can tune up real quick.
What do you call people who like to drink hot chocolate all year long? You call them coconuts. Girl, you remind me of a box of chocolates. Why? Because I want to take your top off. I don't get that one, I guess. Never opened a box of chocolates.
You never took
Life
the
is like
top off a box of chocolates?
It doesn't last too long for fat people. Oh, that's a diabetes joke. There are two types of people in this world. People who love chocolate and liars. That's true.
That's not true. My sister-in-law hates it.
She's a liar.
No, it made me trust her less. As soon as I felt like, what?
Yeah. Who doesn't love
Because
chocolate?
she was serious. That's what I said. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. You're lying. Of course you love chocolate. She's like, no, I really don't. I'm like, huh? Well, good
A study says that chocolate may lower your chances of a stroke. That is, a swimming stroke, a golf stroke, a tennis stroke, ... What is the best part of Valentine's Day? The day after when all the chocolate goes on sale. Don't bite off more than you can chew unless it's chocolate. Your mama is so fat, when she walked out of Candyland, there was nothing left. So, Easter commemorating Jesus did eggs, but those apples too fine. And then he turned all the rabbits into chocolate, right? Oh, that's a little bit off. Your mama is so dumb, if her brain was chocolate, it wouldn't fit in Mama jokes are terrible. Who there? Candy. Candy who? Candy cow jump over the moon?
I just realized something really funny, Jim.
What's that?
The turnaround in the song, you can't really call it a chorus. If anything, the beginning part's the chorus, but the turnaround is F-A-G, F-A-G.
It's a fag song.
Yeah, the song's, well, it's still Pride Month, so it's a good thing.
Pride Month?
Oh no, I guess it's over now. We're 1 day late. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Everyone's gonna stop by. Everybody's gonna try on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Everybody likes to fly, but everybody seems to get high on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Not everybody likes to cry, but nobody deserves to die on the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. So I used to play it like this. See if I can still do it or not. I'm gonna have to quit pretty soon because it hurts. Yeah, can't do it. I got tennis elbow. I gotta rest my arm, but thank you very much. That was the
That plow went south, SP.
Yeah, well, my hands were giving up on me, bro.
Like, because it's a southpaw.
Ha ha. Kind of went south. You haven't learned it on the piano yet.
Well, 4th of July?
It's called Fireworks Barbecue, Jim.
Well, I learned Happy 4th of July on the piano.
I know everybody calls it Happy 4th of July, and I don't know why, because it's called Fireworks Barbecue.
Well, obviously, you said Fireworks Barbecue at least once when you were playing it, right?
No, I think that's why I named it that, to continue the tradition of musicians, having song titles that aren't included in the song. That's a pet peeve for some people, and it's a thing that some people like. So.
Oh, it's awesome and terrible at the same time. It's a power trip of the holiest of holies, piano players and guitar players and writers of songs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Sure.
I think we're drawing down to the end here. Let's take a quick glance at the chat. My sister-in-law hates chocolate. That's what person? Other than her, I don't know. I've never met anyone. Oh, Krista is still dying. But Krista, when my hand recovers and I can play comfortably, I will attempt to go back to Johnny Be Good and relearn it. But I certainly cannot play that right now, and especially I couldn't find a pick. That's why I was gone so long. I was searching all through my other room for a guitar pick, which I know there's one in there, but guitar picks are just like anything else. Like, oh, you're interested in us? And they run away and hide, and you know.
Ah, don't be picky.
They go jump underneath the pile of socks that fell through a hole in the 4th dimension inside the dryer. I figure if you ever fall through that hole yourself, that's what you'd land in, is a pile of socks and guitar picks.
Are they right socks or left socks?
Well, it depends on whether or not you're right or left-footed.
It's a hard question.
It is.
I'm right-handed and left-eyed.
Now, I like this joke. Oswald Spengler, did you see this joke? What's black and white and can't turn around in an elevator? A nun with a javelin through her head. That's pretty good. I like that one.
Sounds like a penguin fetching a long stick.
What was the one? What's black and white and red all over? And it's a newspaper. That's one of the punchlines. And there was another good punchline. What's black and white and red all over?
Oh yeah. It's a
zebra with a sunburn.
A Dalmatian in the blender. That's terrible.
Did somebody say that?
Well, I went to the 5th grade. There was a lot of terrible jokes like that floating around in the 5th grade.
Yeah, the show delay is a trip. I agree with Chad Warren in the chat. It's very confusing when things don't line up.
Do we have a show delay?
Oh, he's saying that, I was talking about the Sims CPS workers to come to take the kids because they were being neglected, and he's just now catching it, even though he saw it being commented on in the chat or whatever. But we've all had that experience of, like, the show delay causing disorientation.
Disorientation. There's a little button you can press in the corner. Well, so it says live, and if it's white next to live, you can tap it, and it goes red, and then you go live.
Yeah.
But you missed out on whatever we said before live.
And Oswald Spengler is asking if I'm left-handed or if the camera's flipped. The camera is flipped. I am left-handed, but I play the guitar right-handed because whatever brilliant person sold my mother my very first guitar said, if he doesn't know how to play, then have him learn right-handed so he doesn't have to get specialized gear and it'll be easier for him to watch other players. And I'm like, yeah, guy, whoever you were, thank you.
Wait, do you play right-handed?
Yeah, I play right-handed.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely.
I was like, he's left-handed, but I didn't realize, I guess I never paid attention to what side you played the guitar on.
You'd have to restring everything upside down or buy all left-handed gear. It just, if you don't know how to play the guitar and you want to learn, it doesn't matter what hand you are. Just learn the same way that almost everyone in the world plays and not one little specialized way that only left-handed people play. Some left-handed people, smart left-handed people, play right-handed.
That's right, unless you look like a Beatle that died.
True, that's true. And the other thing is, if you're a really exceptional guitar player, you can play with your left or right hand.
What do they call that?
Determined, dedicated.
Determined, dedicated.
Uncommon.
That's true.
I've tried it. I've strung my guitar the other way and tried to turn it around this way, and your brain just freaks out, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Like your brain's like, yeah, no, don't do that.
Pat your tummy and rub your head. Pat your... I can't even do it like that. I can moonwalk forwards all day long.
Moonwalk forwards.
I can slide back.
All right.
You know?
All right, so I guess this is where we encourage people in the description to this show that you're watching right now. There are links to join our Discord, and we have some uproarious conversation going on over there. We have a lot of really strange subject matter, and we encourage you to come look at the memes and post off-topic subjects and the topics that you love the most. Also,
just
just
the thumbs button if you like the show.
Yeah.
There's only 11 clicks on the thumbs.
Yeah, we need some thumbs up and likes to help the algorithm encourage us into the noosphere, the internet noosphere. We always used to say, like, share, subscribe, or do.
Or do. Do we have time to talk about that thing about the stuff up in Alaska for a couple minutes?
No, I'm done, man. I'm done.
All right.
It's hot in here.
Talk about that later.
And I think I still have to fold laundry, so.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Do you think I'm kidding? Oh, no.
You should have been folding the whole friggin' show, John. What were you doing?
I could have done that. That would be. We could have a Let's Fold Laundry show, but then we'd have to sort the laundry first because you know how it is. I live with a wonderful lady. I'm not going to say her name, but I know for sure that she doesn't want any of her underwears of any kind on Picture Show ever. I know.
You're a wise man.
I know without any doubt that there's. I don't have to go ask. I don't have to ask her friend and see what she thinks or any stuff like that. The answer is don't. And I'd say, when in doubt when it comes to a woman's underwear, then default to no one seeing them except for you and her. That's the way you should do that.
It'd be pretty creepy if you were folding laundry under the table.
It wouldn't look good. No, if I was going to do it, I would back this camera up and I'd have a pile and get to work.
That would be an interesting show.
It would be.
You call it laundry and conspiracies.
I sent you a link to one of those camera holder things. Did you see it?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, so
it was a gimbal, right?
Right. It was a gimbal, and all of the in real life streamer guys like that crappy doo-doo head Ice Poseidon and other ones like him.
Crappy doo-doo head.
Oh, Ice Poseidon is so stupid. I hope he stubs his toe tonight on the way to the bathroom.
Sean. Whoa. Well, okay.
But if we had one of those, then we could get someone here locally that trusts us to allow us to come to their house in Walla Walla and fold their laundry.
Shit!
And then that'd be a good show.
Ryan Martin, we're looking at you.
That's right.
Hey. You can come over here and fold my laundry. I'm not embarrassed about any of my underwears.
Oh, yeah. Also, above the Discord link, and now since I added Fireworks Barbecue to the description of this show, you can join our Patreon, and we do have some. We've never spent or taken any of that money out of there because we're saving it up. We're gonna either remodel we're gonna remodel the studio, or we're gonna I had an idea. Yeah, the pig. There's money in the pig too. So we've got money stacking up for this picture show venture. And another idea, Jim. I had an idea that we should take the money in the pig and the money out of the money out of the Patreon and pay somebody to go through all of the past episodes and edit them together. and a coherent theme. You know, like do some.
That would be awesome.
Maybe
We got
that's what we
somebody
should.
that's got some time to do it and with the interest to do it.
Yeah. So if you're excellent at video editing, or at least good enough, or if you're a professional video editor, please join the Discord or hit us with a private message on Twitter, or I'm on Facebook. I am Sean Alger on Facebook instead of SB.
And we'll share the love with you.
Yeah, we will literally take money out of our bank and send it to you if you will edit together past highlights of Picture Show. So please look around for an excellent video editor, or if you are one, then let us know.
Or even if you're aspiring to be a video editor and you have to read some PDF instructional.
Yeah, that's more like the minimum wage version versus the high dollar. You know, we're looking more for the prevailing wage guy, but if you're new and you really want to try it up, still hit us up because we might make a deal with you. So,
we're not going to pay you before you do it. We'll pay you after you do it, unless you're a pro, and then we'll talk about that on the B side.
Krista says, "Come fold my damn laundry. Can you come to Kentucky?" Well, I mean, we can, but I don't think there's enough money in homunculus to pull that one off. So
you better save that laundry.
don't encourage her to do that. Just fold it. There'll be more. Laundry's not something that gets done. All right, I'm running out of steam, you guys. This is the time when we look into the camera and we give the big wave and we say, "Okay, bye."
Hey, guys. Okay, bye.